Mame fa na se ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
Se wonua ba no. Kristo asafumpo. Oba ni sofo. Siki oba anya den
ni sofo.
Enti wonua ba na e ba ho nye sofo a ye hye wo no. E de hia no.
No mo hye ne sofo.
E hye ne sofo.
Ene se ka wo se
sofo na hye no. Ya omu shine ne so hene. And one what tea and water because the Friday no money ade no. Wo mu di junction kwato se ye nsie papa no.
Anti I think you
see. E ti ade na mo ntomo bo.
Na se kwa mi se wo ede abrante na esi akonwa so a ono na ebi obetena papa na anamu a e wo senka papa ne manyina ne abusuafo nyina wo hobi.
Thank you obi ani ho. Yesi aso ampanimfo bi na akofa akofuna kwa Joseph say wane no ne papa no nesne fine
wa me ka matietie
mo say ka papa no manyina wo ho
me ba
agati ye mpatombo wo hye shoes onu nko a wo wanyu obi anko ho.
Oh okay.
Say mo ye program wo a ade enti ne mototup no because there is court injunction on the installation.
And there is no oil penny if you say, Mumu court umbraso, or your lawyer ni, only your repercussions say what a friend say. I almost saw the Land Cruiser Prado and a ball do dating. If I try to car any man say, hey, and you know, be trying to baby. 3 hours to more car, almost more than 20 bullets. I don't know, Kuno. Oh, Kuno. Hey, I did not some crane. Kwame na ope. Kwame, woni ma ade ba ko. Re se sabio obi wu a na nachi ebe basabasa efri ne wawu no. Eya ye ntoto ne ma yi ansa. Wa ye we. Kwame. Enti de no mo hwa we no mu. Mo fa entu ana. Wa ye ye. E de adwo mpo first no. Wa ye ye frɛ adwo so na abuhua pani di ade. Na ansana we beba no o kan sanka ne baketo yi kwa Joseph no okay boy kokko no en yachi on na eketoa na adu anyini sin I think and o ye niam basa na papa no se da bi o hwe ne suban ne ade no a enye enti mostly no se wo hwe abusuamu a ya na adedie niam bebre wa ye di jamma kwa kwai wudi bejami sempi one year slay queen kwa kwaji o na kwa mi se papa ne ye we to hono mo ena zamo will ye bekin kan ya this papa no aye dey ye sie no awie papa ne sha fridge mi ye ayi ne fedi asembi eso no on nam ho e di asembi e je ne se o ma akami o wonua ba no o ban wa fa posifo ama wa fa sojafo ama onu kwa kontenko no baaye e na ase wode be ade be pim gate wode be pim gate na me share video ni say ya the way anu omu gina fie ho a wo mu tutuo kwa abonten eh amu tutuo ni fifio na kwa abonten fifio na kwa abonten mi wo video no say ya me eye I try phone ma me na me ene kwa me ade na no ahio but kwa me se papa na ye way to hono mo a ene wo mo a e fra chire e de crash na kwa kosi so no wo ma anya do wo mo papa no yankwa no ye ndi nkomo kakra mate na ye ne yewura Kofi Wusu Bempa wono ene ye kasa mafo e de ma Kristo asafo na ne bra nyina so no wone ye papa apostle professor doctor kwa Josafo ena ananti abobra ba bepim sede ye keken na yankwa no nkyɛn na ye ne nkodi enkomo.
Hello, where to see?
Awa eje kisi ni e.
Pepa toy.
Ahun ti se eje kisi nso wo chief of staff de ma honorable Sarah Adwoa Safo mi ankasa mi sister. Na ahun ti se
o ye ko pada Roma, e busu a ye di kunim.
Honorable Sarah Adwoa Safo so ti say.
When I go pada Roma, no ye pa me no can say we almost about 10-15 meters away from here.
Oh, na yenwe asɛm a yɛtete nnuro asɛ nka nyame amfa fie nka de esi yenie ɛba ne sɛn
yo umi ameda se ana pe bi din tia kese be ma otiefo wi ase nyina ene wa hwefo ayi so social media nyina and not apa any hours of 7:15 ene me nya call from Adwoa the political manager I friend of UI watching and the call do ka tell me ni o se kisi the patrol no when na me see me around o se anka akofuna esi ne ho ade so ewo awoshi na esane se asanfo ne bi din paper akoto court ne
awoshi baabi a ya na yeye eyino yeye kuraye niema ye display ho aye che bebre man krofo no
exactly
ho no
eno ntino eno ntomo ko ho no so say junction that mo ntini am perform bibia ho na ona mo se obi etia na na say kojo person be ya de privately e woni fie ho it remember police commander amane because ade no kata ede that's to stop it phone call ekoye and my police so respond bring back say they are sending men to the grounds and which and check and the police have said you san ka was initial was stomach down na yenko eho together yenko share what was going there maybe faji mi say me ni sia me ka say yamma do for the echo spy the that was idea by the team it is Dr. Bati freelance for the second time no office prepare and the ones are air frame they pick it up me take it away so don't about the obo tu hey nyamene no kure ni ni aka me say me ho and the team see the me dey also me see our police station this so me tipila too so quickly we rush to the police station. We do one. There's a friend who parking we see all right inside. We won't know to be able to see me. Why I hyped? If you're so sure the dean, I know people know see in the hospital. If the minutes they could do one about 10 minutes, you know, and the last vote also they could do Safo. If they do
because I know asami see ya na me frɛ na okuta Adwoa number no nti wono kwa na me ne kasa na sister ho ye mo se ne ho ye
enti no kojo e be do ho about 5 minutes enti the kojo car no and the local hospital enti ye ko me say honorable now friend is me see on the man say o say oh woni me kasa ni na me no kasa ni na me na kwa so me be show na me do down wona wo do ni enti me twem here dey call enti she was driving herself but what you on one side and not all driving in a casual way, normal ladies bra and a down shorts with Sh0oting. Now all put if your own could be if you can be headed towards the gate. Or they approach if you so many can no money. And now or see someone can say fire. Now fire no.
Anna or say all can fire no.
Yes.
One or say a film no say can fire hair no.
Adwoa say oti say obi ka fire hair. Now ono normally no ono ka say driver and the side no o man back down kakra AC is down no if you no driving no down kakra on the head level at least ekwa me dey bit them 85 hair the bullet in the core normally on the car there because we a big man now utra front seat in the
I
number of bullets that cause glass no it's like 20% okay visible and accountable to everybody. It's you know that's all you tell the bullets need be car bumper no you know front tire no you know you tell them they say although they chemu and they be a bullet in the air but she was trying to go out from the area and one of the bullets be at the car the left ear side and the full left hand side what you know the participant be careful to make that
Matthias pa chief for so near 40
yes and you ask yourself say only for alcohol with bad intentions that
Matthias ro ye bi kasa say wɔyɛ saasɔre ne lawyer na ɔbaayɛ no car no ɔde saa Land Cruiser na ɔte mu no ɔde pim gate no ba Land Cruiser no so esi wɔ no mehwɛ ɛnum nsɛe eti gate no wɔde pim ya ne deɛ no yɛ rubber ne bia wɔde pim na sɛ pu atse baalu rubber ne bia na
kwame medase ɛnna me tiri saa assembly no me ka kyerɛ ba bebree sɛ ɔsɛ yɛ ma yɛ mba nyinaa gyae school kɔ na yɛ ma yɛ business and it seems say if you have money you can say anything that you want at any given time because ɛyɛ na ɛyɛ sɛ obi akɔ school akɔ akyire esi adeɛ not because of one or two big you know nipa kɔ no be forced to lie or say things that are not true mind you and in your modern world assembly within the next 48 hours intelligence will bring the results out. And then there's a media man, and there'll be a media man, and there'll be a media man. No, so I don't have your money to call. Should go with the driver. At least you could have also mobilized the place, send them there. Mind you, Sabi, why your minister of state now? Our legs. Open the money to become a friend. Say, make guys come your police command. Say, don't say you, man, and you never be a side no. Until all catch the police. No, I say, put the money on. Sabi.
nka ono kwa so kwa enko
ono kwa harmless it media no call too far and you can't tell me say media no na look the security guys they are there in the name of a brother in the name of a brother what you say and they will take command and say mommy me say no adebo social media wo die ni
chopa
e command ye di say kisi e post to adebia. When you read it, you could see that Adwoa Kasemia channel. For those who are close allied, I did show to Facebook about a week and two. Me senema on what kind of thing they see, maybe not so much senema. They see what and that will draw conclusion to everything. Now,
2 weeks before these happenings.
But I will say,
when you are there, 2 weeks and sana the ABC.
Or throw the two
okay
to social media. And I'm for copy that. And a case you see and right.
Make what about me kind?
Good. Now, make a way so can Yako Pony than I say in the first place. So Yako Pada Roma. I'm well free because of our driver. I come back to the I come in say I come 14 days. You know, maybe didn't know. So Yako Pada Roma and Manasa. Now, I'm found I second to my IGP and the state as well, because the director of CID itself, the new do hospital, in 20 minutes, and the director of CID Agasa came with the men and women.
Okay.
The madam, I can't no credit back up. We should always call speed a speed. The honorable, they didn't come in. This is what they say. Mr. Kisi, yes, sorry, no. When you say Oba 18 years spiritual head,
yes,
Oba 18
Makana no pay.
Oh, sorry, no. Oh, Oba 18 years for sorry, no. It's where they are, Oluma and Will Mono. What sure up to be said? It be a fast Messiah of 18. And I saw so constitution the choir of Diana. It's a chair and repemoir. You go for the Percabia. It's the public kind of world. The woman the beige one. It's all along with the Onu Adwoa. I deal with the the piano. Provide this.
Mammy Musaway, a brass some see when you're quine Quajosafa says on SCS of Penino. I didn't come off phone so I never be sir.
Hey, Kwame, you see, where's the man? Where's Fro, Benna? I just don't get a footballer.
There been bad or there.
I police will go for your move. Why that?
Obi, I know I seen in what Frank Macqua, I seen in a pagan costume.
Chairman, and to Manaka, see the phone to Manamu, Nipan and the Moreno.
Ow!
So why? Why? ena ka jira we
bi ma so bi bo eja wu ye eja kro ye na ye ni sie ne ho hye no enyam bia ma wu se emma no aka wo ho abom a wo mo ye na na manom ne wo mo keke ka ho no nyina aka wo mo abom wo mo ye na wo no akofuna no wo gina hwan wo gina ne papa busuafo afa na wo no wate no kontenkro ana se wo ni sister no ene ni nua boy kwadwo no na ye
but that's it o hwe de no nyina ono ate ne ho nanka first you can my date on the year now also apostle ne chief no ebi ekwa kodu Cameroon Mali Niger Sanko Furina and what me you say na Sanko Furina enka ho enti date the baro mo jitu wie no later no o mo wa ko to mo tell say emwa wo mo enti o so mo tie de etna fe e date be boa enu mu na kojo antiasia odi kan ye press release say o ba ye eye no aka na ye bosu ye mu na ke be say but bu so funa trans no mali fu abodi fu nya jitu mi say hata me bo o na say wasan de ba no o de control open so anim and open so eni say bibia no busu akase ene ye enu to ga say na on be ye no pota say papa de kan no papa de church wu a yenye mizulio me fa nya be si wa yenye se ma no in fact e do crowd put na delay more because and they are making for no more ye be wi me o more ye draw we see be wi don't na sa da kotre e ti no be ko du die ono na ti de wo e na ona bo su ni ni anom nenam de make we are ye ni tia and na say ya ko president ko for o speaker of parliament o ko chini o ko in fact say ni penifo nya o ko invitation Dr. Muhammad Bawo me nya ko mo na se ni gida jo no ko anoko one busuafo ni nuanom direct nuanom ketwa so that you ne penny ansa na akofra aba eti omu ina saso akofra pe ene nka ho ene asori penifo na omoti papa na ne manase a omo pese mo de papa na emra na ne hihye de yituma no sankofo ina aka ho no munam ene omo bo amane esi eyi so nanu ba ko maka se
ebra eba se wo se yensi ne hene no minim se asem efri court na court nso di injunction atoso wonti yemu no na wono kwadwesafo junior no ya serve ni bi sa injunction no
uni amedase enra se minia osibo ekama wiase ina tie se empenifo no mudi nechi no or they try visiting Ubia few one by one to save them. Omo kwalo mo sanka omo no. Omo ja ema omo. And omo sanso jama omo board no, omo council no so habit. It omo nyina and what was said. Omo nyina omo ni. Because minya program no ahana was so here no. Ubo gana kama saying that we are normal information a secretary Canada that program na batu. Said that papa ya and then who obia ya we answer yin be pass jam ya doma next month ending sana ka o se ba no enti o ko wona police for no adi be ne bo mutima na yesi o hine yesi o yedem bidia yesi o hine yesi o yedem that it is junction edaso o mu ina obia saka ne die pepe
Say aso pen for so minister mo lawyer no kasa say wono na aba bedi papa de enu no wutietie mu a abusuan no gitum nuano no gitum ana say wo mo de wo mo da so gina say court di injunction atoso
bakaya ememi etwem no na ka kofna ene hwe papa di bia so ajo na epeni de eso amamma ne amanim no be ma ho de so ma na tina so se dia me kan no na ma so ne so oba 18 years to ahead it no or the conference but papa na in his own wisdom sorry for no enina enim papa no se de be enko yi emma no so bo ja data so de make se mali for ni je for na se for na bi e bai Jabonafi. That time His Excellency the former President President Kufuor was there. Rest, before my Yadona were around. Open so man and them seen by and on road above one and on the share Adwoa. And nothing that I saw for a friend, the woman king. The woman came over the year with dear Papano and the friend, and now yes, I and sign. Oh, yes, I say your chest and be bien, see, if you did bien, but who will be bien? So you ask yourself, say, why today? Why now? Oh, now, Kwame, me personal worry when it comes to everything down to me personal worry, brother. Say, we now when him say, what means just so full? I don't get politics of my man, and that's her full time. And there's no way she can lead the church as she being a woman. And or his sister say, you're from.
But now you say, I don't know the Kawafa say. Sabi, what do you make Kojo Safo Junior, we him. Suma wa papa mu wa ko papa wo bia papa do kotena like taifa esoro ho pa baby akonya red no na wo ka hu mu nsem na te wona hu papa no pa se do sito no wutimi se nipa ehunam ne bia ne hu na wo ye sumsum ni obofo kese pa junior yi ka do hwese ke benya sumsum nipa papa dini sunsum be jano said the Elijah dini sunsum abu premienu eja Elisha no
unia enra de me catch asori for no anyone mo anyone around me the personal feeling me say enra your Father's Day na ka osomu and omo si papa no na papa no my big gift by saving the bano.
Because said you trace ko ye de se nyame ni mu a no one can survive.
And they do 1 week and they do 1 week. And yeah, they do 1 week. And it's still to be seen. Of where me can say about the food. Nyame ko anka me say me home see. What just here? What I go for that say.
And what to pia for Jan you baby offer.
Now who did that way? You can run, you can hide. And the modern world. For how long?
I wouldn't yes was there. One no so no be uncle for Babon Subwase. I won't ask what I'm to and one so and you are and a map
from the fear to
what the honey
atomic police station. The fear to atomic police command. Yeah, Taifa. How many
dear friend when you I mean, you know, sir, it's the obvious. Honorable Kennedy Japan Ekasa Enra in an interview, I think on the 2 TV. Now in some more kind generate a whole conversation on social media. I mean, listening to him personally, yes, only na yejuma closely. Utie in some more kind rana. Were you surprised yourself?
It will be there. It's a way lawyer. You always strata question. I told you, I told him maybe I different. I said, were you surprised yourself? Will be my main friend free her. Can he deeply invested party man?
Okay.
Will be a ordinary car and then a holding and then a coming in our boa party. And to media, be a beefy kenna and loom abba, whether expressly or by conduct, will be media. We would say. Na dream poet church enye se or the best party and also the better party. So the me share as some kind here. For me, enye my titi commentaries in Bibia is not really an issue of Ken versus the party.
Okay.
But for me, it has more to do with how party manage disagreements and concerns at one moment members be I mean, we'll be lying to ourselves. If you say, after a very tense contest, an aspect of reconciliation and true dispute resolution. And you will say be a reconciliation, and call properly. You get somebody like Ken, you will see, say, he will be expressing those concerns. You will be an ordinary person to what it may come out and say, be the panel has been frustrated or not. But remember one scenario. na me tie so year to abano me maami wu the year 2001 sa be na me nyamfie wote obi ti ase ni you
me tie opa
okowo wa go hospital na we praise believe say praise before yem pai bobi ana okọ pai bonase e PF hospital premises so all no mo so painful bi aye dey e twahwe ana ye rush and the back to the hospital omba no mo so admission eje ko eje ebo anya anyi ana wo free mu ne ba no so okọ no so anyi ene ye pai no the ban ye de to ne nchen ana akora 29 years then ana ono be sie no obi ubeje di say ena no presidential prime minister ye ko ye enya nipa o mu di video see omo so e kan say e ma me wu ye sie ne sa akokọ this is to me kwasi kwati yo let me tam kesi yo and I felt so hurt na me hwe me kwasi kwati as just an ordinary spokesperson and how and sema me te wo masum ene me tam kesi ene no ma ye bro so na me hwe the multiple of attacks and insults ko yura Kennedy Japan so na me who say she we be bia na yan kan okran kire ho and say look into each other's faces and forgive each other one here abese dada ye be kwa dan ye ho aba ye kwa ye sa kwa kopem so for me obi samia what happened with Ken's comment offers an opportunity for reflection and not a declaration for war. So for me, the important question will be say lessons be and a party near day. Strong parties are built on reconciliation and proper dispute mechanisms. Strong parties, they are not built without disagreement. When they are disagreements and the concerns they are but when those concerns are raised, a DNA afaho. And for me, there a course within this one. You say Kenaka, you a free Abeka, you see Abeka, we know. If you ask me, Adwoa, it's just an opportunity, an invitation for all of us to then look at our reconciliation mechanisms, look at our dispute resolution mechanisms. Obi, a fanka, nobody is never fako.
That's true.
And your opponent in the one, NDC. So why do we have prolonged conflict that do not benefit us, and we are all playing the ostrich games as if everything is well? Let's be very honest to ourselves. Own up to responsibility. No more a year, Dr. Baomiamono, it be in and no more also come here, it be in it is so big to be nature seminars to be or what. If you ask me, it's an invitation for all of us to sit down. Then come a patch on tray and then use us as an opportunity to strengthen the unity, then prepare a year ahead of the 2028 elections. Now go ahead, oh, uniform and Kobebia, oh, or Casado. At the end of the day, who does it benefit? Can you nipa? Obi me boss no? As to say you, and maybe be obey bia na big dinaho. I can't crash and say, papa. Saso na utie afano so bibia, and maybe be almost be bia na ebe papa. But how do we build a consensus in moments like this? And I trust Dr. Baumier's leadership. Say they should take this as an opportunity and a moment to reflect and build through and proper reconciliation so that we'll be able to achieve the unity that we want. We can enum abba, whether expressly or by conduct, will be media. We will say, na dream poet church, and yet say, or the best party, and also the better party. So, the may, I share as some of kind, for me, and yet my TT commentaries in the is not really an issue of Ken versus the party.
Okay.
But for me, it has more to do with how party, manage disagreements and concerns at one more members. I mean, we'll be lying to ourselves if you can say after a very tense contest, to be an aspect of reconciliation and true dispute resolution. And you will say be a reconciliation, and call properly, you get somebody like Ken, you will see, say, he will be expressing those concerns. You will be an ordinary person to what it may come out, say, be the panel has been frustrated or not. But remember one scenario. So, year to abano. Remember me the year 2001. So, I name feel watching. Obi ti ase ni you. Okowo wa go hospital. Now we praise believe say praise before yem pai bobi. and a Okompai Bonase, a PF hospital premises. All one almost a painful be a day, a cash it. And I rush and back to the hospital. On bound almost admission. A jail quay jabo, and yanni and a frame. The banner so call also any a pie, the banner in the tone chain, and about 29 years then, and on obesity. What you better say, and now no presidential prime minister Koye in any power moody video see also. I can't say, the mammy we see in a sakoko. This is to me, make us you. Let me come you. And I felt so hurt. Now, me kwesi as just an ordinary spokesperson. And how and some me tell my soon and me come and no my broso. Now me share the multiple of attacks and insults a Koye reckon in Japan so now. Now me gonna say, see we be biane and kind of crime and say look into each other's faces and forgive each other. One here, I better say that down. You be quite die one bar a quiet Safo. So for me, what happened with Ken's comment offers an opportunity for reflection and not a declaration for war. So for me, the important question will be say lessons bay and a party near day. Strong parties are built on reconciliation and proper dispute mechanisms. Strong parties, they are not built without disagreement. When they are disagreements and the concerns they are but when those concerns are raised, a DNA are. And for me, there a course within this one. You say Kenaka, you a free Abeka, you see Abeka, we know. If you ask me, Adwoa, it's just an opportunity, an invitation for all of us to then look at our reconciliation mechanisms, look at our dispute resolution mechanisms. Obi. A fan car, never never fako.
That's true.
And your opponent in one, NDC. So why do we have prolonged conflict that do not benefit us, and we are all playing the ostrich games as if everything is well? Let's be very honest to ourselves. Own up to responsibility. No more a year, Dr. Baomiamono, it be in trade. And no more also come here, it be in trade. It is so big to be nature, and I suppose you are. If you ask me, is an invitation for all of us to sit down. Then come a patch on tray and then use us as an opportunity to strengthen the unity. Then prepare a year ahead of the 2028 elections. Now go ahead. Oh, uniform and Kobebia. Oh, Okasado. At the end of the day, who does it benefit? Can you nipa? What me boss no? As to say you, and maybe be obey a big general. I can't crash and say, Papa. So na wutie afano so bibia enye bibia omo so bibia na ebe papa. But how do we build a consensus in moments like this? And I trust Dr. Baomia's leadership. Say they should take this as an opportunity and a moment to reflect and build true and proper reconciliation so that we'll be able to achieve the unity that we want.
There are those,
2020.
Yeah, I get you. There are those who believe, with the experience, Honorable Ken, way in your first time, we're running for presidential, flag bearer slot. Now, what could be that way in the second time, and knowing how competitive.
Hello.
Yeah, what time in Kakwesi?
I will be meeting.
Yes, now me say when your first time Honorable Kennedy Japan are running for presidential flag bearer slot, where in the second time, knowing how competitive our MPP internal elections some of these things normally happen. Of course, the attacks nowhere from both sides. Inti Baomianko for the B ba Ken and call for the B ba Edu baby Honorable Ken Nankasakra to be Edema Dr. Baomia calling him a liar and all of that. When the election is over, and we heard reporting so say mo flag bearer etu anamon eko mo only one contest ye nyina nan so including Honorable Ken pictures eba na ade enti that reconciliation no what other form of reconciliation bio na wo hwa na say na Honorable Ken pese ohun ansa na ya obi e woni mo no e free ho
Obi me take a so let me attempt to address it.
Okay.
Reconciliation is not an event. What I say.
That's true.
And this is where the number it's a process.
Yes.
And when concerns come up on even the reconciliation process, I'm not sure it's so important for us to brush it off. At the end of the day, no, who loses and who wins. And to me, it doesn't matter. So this is not the first time. But this is the first time in the package against their party. This is the first time this is the first time Unyani colleagues or parliament. I mean, nobody is blaming anybody for anything. I'm not sure those were sanctions by Dr. Baumia. But what I'm sure and say, if leadership decides today, say more big two or more nice so Obi, say maybe that alone itself cannot constitute a true and proper reconciliation. But Dr. Baumia Baso, at least he's taking the step. And so I know he's also taking some steps. But bottom line is say, Obi, afani afanka no ntese bontizu ni mede emefanko. Enti maybe message a book kwasonya hobrase kwaso say the wo bia no leadership should be demonstrated and the issues should be addressed. When you are doing reconciliation, it's not really about who has a case or who do not have a case. It's not really about who is right or who is not right. It's not really about the will take his step, they won't take his step. I believe say most importantly, now this is not a time for condemnation. For me, this is a time for engagement, if you ask me.
Yeah, but when you listen to the interview critically, Honorable Kennedy Japan didn't just speak as Obia or what issues within the party or pay resolutions to. He was virtually stampeding or holding the party to ransom, because if you make comments, you want me to join these people, or you see other words, be a member Monchain next year by July, party name. Those are not comments from Obia or pay genuine resolution to issues in a party. Anna
Obi, and I make her say the comments he made, it was not a declaration of war on the party, especially if you understand all the background who has and all the background story. Obi said the party has no. Oh, can't go and say the party couldn't have and penny for say that's a bad Safo. What I say, and yet a penny for can be said be our camp and grada.
Yes.
Oh, many sure say Obi to part or a Safo or a free SC the station or Cassan same way without having any basis. But you see, I will not be on this station and justify any basis, because maybe my first responsibility and my first love and my first patriotism is to this country and to this party. It's not necessarily to an individual. And no matter how the concerns he raised, whether justifiable or unjustifiable, Obi, I am saying, say, it exposes the reconciliation unit or the reconciliation chamber of our party that we can still do better.
Okay.
For me, that is how I see everything. Obi, to say, it's about seeing a half full glass, whether it's half full or half empty.
Yes.
And this is the opportunity. Whether we say, oh, and I can't do any basis, and I can't do a person threatening party, Obi or losing the Sikaya party, fitting and Ju Bessineno. You think, sorry, I say, all the legacy he's built over the years, he wants to destroy everything that he's built? Obviously, no. At the end of the day, one the benefits, one they lose, we all lose together. And I am telling you, said the Canada, Japan, I know, will not ordinarily want to break this party. It is an opportunity. It's a phase we are going through. It is a phase we are going through. And this presents a very good opportunity for us to once again look at our reconciliation efforts. Because, unless, of course, the other was the NGI. But here may be a sense already so. They mum the Becca say, the Ujidi and Ujina secretary na Pampu. The Ujidi or Dr. Baumia, the Ujidi or no Canada upon our cremo. Say, a face say, na party no, in Nayaka and Wabum, na 2028. The Quaco Jacoyan.
So, what share reaction abba from some of the party communicators, ne grassroots for any social media, no? You get the feeling, say, for most of them, no, Sisi akra de yabrel de bia na wonkwa na de obeye bia ye, you get that feeling from the reaction, no?
Obi, I'll be dishonest to say I don't get that feeling, because them in social media they be a meteor.
Yes.
Except to say, say, yes, party for them kwane kotoaba.
Okay.
You will still need the candidate appoint his side. What I say? What about also the silent people? We have a party at Sebio Nyado. We have the track record to say, of course, I mean, in the name of discipline. Former general secretary. I mean, we saw how he was handled. Were former chairman. And they but other people also, maybe they have been handled their dispute resolution and reconciliation better. But at the end of the day, what is the consequential effect on the party? The yes party people or traditional party people who are so much conservative about protecting the image of the party who show concerns. But what about also the ordinary Ghanaians? So let's even assume, without admitting Kennedy was even wrong, just an assumption. You will still need him. You will still need Ninkofo. You will still need people that look up to him. Instead of say, yeah, we are justifying who was right or who is not right. Why don't we sit down, say sorry to each other? Let's forgive ourselves and move on. So we can be a deal.
Yeah.
The concern is no reason. If we had listened to him yesterday, or say, may I any chairman's Juma, may I any Abronya campaign, may I any Coca campaign, may I any Adwoa campaign. Don't you think this is a man who is making an honest admission that this is what worries me? So let's address it.
Yeah, but he also said, but also can
address them.
Yeah. Kwesi also can you fanko for indi sanko for no so be dan why campaign. Why should it just be one-sided?
Obi and one-sided the cry. Is that not the reason why I'm saying say this offers a movement for reconciliation?
Okay.
And once again provoking all dispute mechanisms and addressing them. Dispute mechanism is not one-sided. Reconciliation is not one-sided. Openi can answer we and so penny, once a media, Ebia, no, we are dream by a quite far so can need to take a fancy in 10,000 yenga. We also say, be a semi, I can't order my KBP. Oi, if you can't move, baby, I day. And if other person also have concerns, that is not the same. I mean, I'm one of the people, bra, okay, Dr. Baumia, said Dr. Baumia, Liano. Me, and my friend, I'm saying, oh, I said no crowd or no, a kind. The information and the report I had, no crime, in town, what I say is one of his team members who misrepresented the facts. I even drew his attention. What I say, he obviously he's also a human being. He may have a strength and he also may have his weakness, just like any other person. But that is the whole essence of party building, party rebuilding, party reconciliation. We are not saying he's the only person that has been hurt.
Sure.
But we are saying, in a party like this, when concerns are raised, we shouldn't be so dismissive about it. The party is run by human beings. The party is not run by robots. The party is not run by program computers. They are so mechanical. Even program computers make mistakes. AI sometimes can make mistakes depending on how you prompt in. And he said, party me, a member to me hurt a party now. The party which is also run by human beings and not angels can also hurt a member. But would we be on radio and arguing back and forth? No. Please, let's get a truce. Yeah, do I who is yet? A funny no chance politics should be fanko. I share the moon at the snap of Boyna. But before say, I assume you know who are a bread. If I tell enter them, maybe be a man in Yajuma. Nothing you can care whom. Ochana, you miracle smoke or Yajuma, or what the Anamana, because if I tell them what's of the Anamha. Now, yes, sir. Because and now share global info analytics and you are the buy who is or young or see if you are to replay 2024, MPP will be doing 34%. Anna NDC with Mahama will be doing 63%. Let's assume Mahama will not even be going. And the emphasis 10% and crying higher deal because they will be bringing a new candidate. Also be doing under 50%.
Yes.
So why do we think say at a moment like this, we cannot forgive each other? Where irrespective of who is right or who is wrong, and come together and stop being mechanical and a permanent party and embrace it. Who does it benefit?
I get you a bit, but I mean, knowing Honorable Ken, like you do you think, sir, and from how he spoke yesterday, are you amenable to any form of reconciliation?
Was it or more? Or more What said ya? Omokabi and a free ho. And I win him. Ken and Samuel Kain in Alabama can assemble. This is my personal view.
Okay.
Say, and yet contest in Yako. And I bet Ken Becker say with the usual Ken, this wouldn't have been an issue. It's just right after the contest.
Yeah.
And everybody could read any meaning into this. And also who said then he also have to also make his claims very clear. Oh guys, I mean, Afari Assembly was just an opportunity to say that MPP Daniels hold us to a higher standard. And when we have an opportunity to finish a project, we should have finished. Other than that, when we question the NDC or criticize them, Daniels will refer us to a cry about. Kennedy ordinarily has always been criticizing both MPP and NDC. But the reason why that became an issue was because we have just moved from a very tense election. And that should presuppose that we should admit that all is not well. And if all is not well, what do? We need to provoke the reconciliation battles.
But there is such a thing called anti-party conduct. I mean, even a simple dipstick surveyor, a lot of my party members would have issues with the party, would have issues. In fact, Nansaya mo polling station elections, krano, yatete nsem from a lot of polling stations. Baby omantimi antwaba, baby a confusion see party for ne wo nsem eka. But do you think they should all adopt the Honorable Ken approach? Then you guys will have no party, no? And that's why Bianco Fobi Free said he's holding the party to ransom too much. And I've read a petition, one of the young guys in the party, Atro, said party no in taking it through the disciplinary process. You think say all of that and necessary for now?
We a lawyer ni.
Yes.
They are trying a law who pay litigation.
That's true.
Say assembly jina court mu bia tremanso.
Absolutely.
Even in litigation, you are trying to say if it be dispute resolution.
Yes.
Or settlement in the
yes.
Arbitration in our
yes.
We are sure say in the wisdom of the framers of the law, no. Omo who say no ebwa answer. Answer there are some other court. I mean, if you want to be mechanical about everything, yeah. I don't think it will benefit anyone. That's why I said that this is an opportunity for engagement and not an opportunity for condemnation and being mechanical under the umbrella of the law.
Okay.
Well, being mechanical, there. In this place, I said that. Well, who provoked those bottoms? What I say, who provoked those bottoms? So why is it that you say that those bottoms has become necessary to provoke? Oh yes, sir. What you are saying is that, you see, let me put it this way. When somebody loses an election, maybe, just maybe, the person will be at liberty to become better or paint, depending on any description you want to give the person. Fair deal. Because you lose election, be any also than the edge. But who win election, you have a greater responsibility to ensure, say, even the wire or supposed better and pain, you still bring the person along. Yes, you can be able to take Kennedy Japan through party disciplinary process. What is the West? The West say at this fellow from the party. Are we ready for the consequence of that? Obi, free money so yes, party I'm for one individual. Oh, no individual is bigger than the party. Yes, it is true. No individual is bigger than the party. But an individual's inclusion or exclusion can also affect our fortunes, especially timing. Looking at the timing. Not 2020 is that losing a new candidate defend it, but also back to open 8 years and
in fact, I mean, Omua make his argument like I said before 2016 elections, mo national chairman, mo general secretary, first vice chair, still I'm winning elections, and the Honorable Ken can go and you can still win. Argument, no.
Obi, it is not a reconciliation argument, and I mean, for lack of better words, if you ask me, it is not a wise conversation or argument. I don't think that makes us the facts it presents and the dynamics that it presents. We are at a crossroad where we need numbers. Opamo Kwabena Japan, chairman. At that time, what was the mood of the nation? The mood of the nation before Pamo Kwabena Japan, the mood was telling, say, you need a minor or Opamua Foko, what was the mood of the nation then? Can you say the same mood today? Can you say the same mood today? When you compare all the dynamics of law and the indicators, can you say all the mood today? The mood today requires that the MPP needs to be united as one accord and as stronger as never before as compared to them. At that time, the season then was to demonstrate that we are a party that we are very disciplined. Mm-hmm. This time around, there's no really about discipline. The dynamics is more on unity than discipline. And when you are focusing on a united dynamic, the conversation should also be a bit softened. For me, if you ask me, those are my comments on it.
Very well. Kwasi, my say for your time, Bibiania, Yebesia Babidin Komobio. Why? We wish you very well. Yeah, that's it. Kwasi Kwatin Ekasa Emma, the Honorable Kennedy Akompreko Japan. Still on NPP matters, no? One other flag bearer aspirant in the just ended presidential primaries, now Dr. Brian Echampong, is also on the back of all of this controversy, issue statement. His statement is titled, "A Call to Unite Behind Our Party and Our Flag Bearer." Fellow members of the NPP, I speak to you today not as a bystander to a recent contest, but as one who stood in it. Like Honorable Kennedy Japan, I offered myself to our delegate in the January primary, and like him, I did not emerge the winner. I therefore understand, perhaps better than most, the weight of disappointment that follows a hard-fought campaign and the depth of emotion invested by candidates and supporters alike. It is precisely from that place of shared experience that I make this appeal. Our party suffered a painful defeat in 2024. The single most important task before us between now and 2028 is to rebuild, to reunite, and to return to power. Nothing, no grievance, no provocation, no personal quarrel can be allowed to stand above that mission. Every day we spend fighting one another is a day we hand freely to our opponent. I have followed with concern the recent remarks by Honorable Kennedy Japan and his threat of action against the party and against certain individuals. Ken is a son of this party, a man whose energy, resources, and loyalty over the decades cannot be questioned, and whose voice carries weight across our grassroots. It is for that very reason that I urge him respectfully but firmly to lower the temperature and to lend his considerable influence to the work of healing rather than division. Let me be candid about the source of his hurt, because it is real. During and after the contest, a few voices around the flag bearer and even my own campaign directed disrespect and sometimes insult at Honorable Japan that were unworthy of our tradition. Many of us wished these individuals had been restrained and wished our elders had moved more swiftly to call them to order. That wish was legitimate. But we must also be fair and truthful. There is no evidence that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia commissioned, directed, or endorsed those attacks. The individuals responsible carry their own long-standing grievances with Honorable Japan, quarrels that are personal to them, and that they have pursued on their own account. It would be a grave error to allow the misconduct of a few to be charged to the account of our flag bearer, or worse, to our entire party. And let us be honest with ourselves on all sides. In the heat of a contest, none of us speak with perfect restraint, and harsh words passed in more than one direction. Honorable Japan's own among them. I say this not to apportion blame, for I believe such words were spoken in the passion of the moment rather than from the heart. My hope is simply that all of us, those who wounded Ken, and Ken himself, might find the grace to make peace without anyone waiting for the other to move first. That is what true reconciliation asks of us. Because here is the truth that must anchor us. This is about Dr. Bawumia and the NPP, and not about the handful of individuals with their own scores to settle. Dr. Bawumia is now the candidate of all of us. He carries the mandate not only of those who voted for him, but of every member who voted for Ken, for me, and for the others who contested. To rally around him is not to take a side in anyone's personal feud. It is to defend the party that is bigger than all of us. So I appeal to Honorable Kennedy Agyapong, to his supporters, and to mine. Let us lay down the weapons of internal warfare. Action the verb unity. And let us close ranks behind our flag bearer so that in 2028 we restore the NPP to the service of the people of Ghana. Unity is not weakness. Unity is how we win. Signed, Dr. Brian Echampong, MP and former Minister of Food and Agric and former presidential aspirant. And an ensa eshekrata way. I don't know what you think, but you can share your thoughts with us. 0548 443 523 0548 443 523. Let's get onto the phone lines, Bio. Na yenin komo. This time, the communications director for Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, Dennis Miracles Abuaje. Miracles akwa bana pom to saying.
Council, I don't know.
Sir, opposition no communications director for Dr. Bawumia. We've seen a list making round. A genuine list.
Naze, Obi say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia list the person or the top ones here. Yeah, they be releasing the formal.
Okay.
She wants a 1 year who former release via. I don't think so. It's a concerned about.
But based on that list, I'm a frail communications director. No, that's what I
have
saw.
Been communications director for the company up to now.
No, it was for the 2026 campaign.
So on to yes, also where you with
the Martin
if at any point in time, if there is anything, we'll put it out. But for now, let's stay focused.
The Martin is a team lead. People's Forum, and they are no correct.
We founder, leader, the People's Miracles Award.
Before
the people, with the people and by the people.
Before see a People's Forum, letter, open letter, matro to the Chief Justice near Deno. Let's stick with issues within Mo party. Enra Mejise Wutie interview Honorable Kennedy Akompre Japan. Grante and Meneni spokesperson Kwesi Kwatin Eddie Nkomo, and he's made the point say this should rather call for sober reflection, and maybe the party should look inward and see how best our reconciliation efforts now because people are not happy about Nyome Koso in times past. You have to heal, and where should be that point of reference for you to heal. Ojitumusa.
In fact, many questions join you, and I'm saying,
okay.
Now, to say, I'm disappointed is an understatement.
Oh, why should you be disappointed?
I'm not going to comment on the audio.
Okay.
And then some
FM.
Era Canada Point. I won't comment on it. Question again, the spokesperson. The typical or no cash on. Question over churching. And to question churching more fine. The concern they say, and seminar on a book in Japan kind, and yeah, hope not get to say question the fact. And so for him to spend all this time ostensibly trying to justify the commentary is unfortunate because maybe MPP I don't know. I don't know, but maybe it's only question and Honorable Ken that are in that mood. I don't think the party for no are in the mood now. Because Obi, you are aware that in the past few months, the party and its members have been very busy reorganizing from the base. Last week, in a party for the quiet line, a Kotoaba, electoral coordinators, police station, electoral coordinators, no a lot of party people, new campaign teams, made up of polling station executives. They are moving around within their constituencies, campaigning to be elected as constituency officers. They have been busy. Party for have been busy. Every MPP member are running elections. I've joined the party for all these years. I'll tell you, say, MPP is not known to be like this. And see, wow, poster, we have to begin to have conversations around you and not say party food. Political party. I read political science at Legon, and the fundamental principle in political party formation is that one or two people agree on one or two issues based on which they will come together to form a party. They didn't say they will agree on every issue. In a political party, the expectation is not say you agree on a same baby. Emu yenyina beje asemba ko ana mienu bia yenyina jitum se we de yenyina ene sa asem ne ya adwen. And that is what we rally around. And once we rally around sa agreement, every other issue that comes in the way of that particular thing we agree to, no, is secondary, tertiary. We push it aside and focus on what we agree to. It is a question said. And a party for in a way, it's not true. It cannot be correct. What is on the ground is that the party, your police station elections, and Brewa and Kokra, Brantier are aligned 1 hour, 2 hours ahead of the elections committee arriving at the police station to participate in the process. You cannot call this to be a party for no. And this commentary has been running for months. In fact, you run this commentary throughout the primaries. The party has moved on. The party understands that we still would have disagreement on other issues. It has been like that since formation of the MPP. However, we agree on one. That is, the MPP is a superior political party, a better alternative for the people of this country than the NDC. And so we must win power in 2028. Once a year agree on a one, if after close to 6 months, at two baby, na say member ba consign a kasa a kwaya Yura can Japan Faso Casena. Me, I don't want to comment on it. Kwesi na kasama no to kwesi na cheche. But I don't expect kwesi say obeba be cheche mu akwa fa so cheche. O men drop party for ni na anko win. Obi, there's no banter on this matter. Party for NPP for are not bantering. Nipa ba kope MPP ni ba kope ena wakoka asem on radio so. Enti kwesi shouldn't create an impression say MPP for banter kontokwa. What to say obi eyi the honorable Japan kanano. David. So I would expect to say in Katama Kwesika and a reconciliation and we should do this. Who is he really addressing? Because Obianka hey, party for Obianka into Kwesika why no addressing? Party penny bakuna beka someone it brings the name of the party into disrepute, threatening the party, basically blackmailing the party. That is what I thought say he would come and address. When come here, expect to say Obi, I say we beka ni see beka ni demunti. Yenjana echi beka waso. But for him to try and draw everybody in and attempt to draw the party into the competition, I find it most unfortunate.
But would you also say, and you honestly believe in your heart of hearts, there are no party members now flowing from what happened in the presidential primaries? No, our woman as a poker crabby, Honorable Ken probably echo what some members of the party feel. And
I would never say that. There has never been a time in the life of any political party in the world. Party would be any minase. Mami example babo. Take any first world country. Party be Baba. A friend is the NDC or moving elections. They be the Roberts in our faces. Did they go into the elections? All of them agreeing to everything. Didn't you see the default letter that he wrote to withdraw from the presidential primaries of the NDC? All kind of Fonka games.
Yes.
Okay, yen ye elections 2016. Okay, situation here. Bepemune, the no can say Bepemune, and you afraid that party members in Peniphobia they were suspended or more try to member back to come and run and contest for elections. It will be. There has never been a time, never in the life of any political party, not MPP, not NDC, not the Democratic Party, not the Republican Party, not the Labour, not the Conservative. There has never been a time. I am a student of politics, a student of political science. There is never a time in the life of a political party where everybody agrees with everything. Many can say, as I speak to you, the polling station executives, as far as or more concerns about choir. Omo faswa ebi omo luso omo polling station elections obi omo nyina mbra radio so mekata omo nyina nko TV so nko kasa. That is what we are talking about. Until nobody should try and draw the MPP into this. Una wakwaye wa dia at the party ndi abo so me no ka say ene why are we discussing MPP? When was the last time I was saying discussing MPP? Kamia kwakoye to say embe bi a party no be si kwampa so. That is what we are trying to address. This is not an MPP matter. This is a member of an of the MPP that is running the name of the party into disrepute.
Because our concerns about how as a party for only be and America or you better or you say any day, it's clear say reconciliation no and call ye papa and that's what Kwesi Kwarteng is calling on party leadership. No,
yeah, you are born saying obi me kra me yaketwa kraketwa miracles a sukonoma to send me party mu me yakra obi send me concerns or party which I have. Why not say me many concerns? Some more consent. Don't you think that I also have consent with some conduct of other members of the party? I'm feeling coming and comfort for us one kebe. But almost about the radios. Obi me to what to say my complaining about MPP radios. But you don't think I have concerns? I also have concerns. That is what I'm telling you. Say there are millions of other party people who all have concerns. The difference between them and this situation is that none of them are on radio and TV threatening the party, blackmailing the party, and drawing the name of the party into disrepute. Okay, that is a fact. And nobody should use issue of for consent. Who said political party made up of a million people or PI anybody woman at the same time? But that common goal is what rallies all of us together. That common goal of winning 2028. It is our party. That's our goal. Doesn't draw you towards the flag of the party there, then you are the one that needs to be addressed, and not the MPP and reconciliation. What is reconciliation? Reconciliation doesn't mean that they can know. But me just to say, baby, you do the minja baby Anton Chani. Now, still, I want to mean do positioner. To make us say minja baby Anton Chani. Then we have a problem. That is what we want to address.
Yeah,
to the extent that 6 months after elections, Obia the Nasama Tonchen. They want to be for the end. That is a worry. Obi, we cannot pretend about this matter.
Yeah, because ordinary the China will not just happen in a vacuum. It should be within a particular context. I was saying, I was a casa cost, I was a meetings.
There are systems in the party, processes in the party. Let me tell you, no leader of the MPP has been as reconciliatory as Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Oh, blackmailing Bawumia, sir. Can't be known yet. It's an aspirant or running a contest. So, the Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, including even senior members, are openly, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia plainly, even at the displeasure of party members. There are some people that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia come with a party was now where they are. Yempesa Obeko, we Kaso Kassetia, now to me, Kudrokono. Why not Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia Konifi? One of the Mahmoud Bawumia Konifi can say, Yenje Bibi Anton Chen, Niem pursue the common goal for the elephants, including Honorable Kennedy Japan. It's again BM and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. At what point would this end? At what point would we say enough is enough? Obi, it is not normal for a party member to come on radio and threaten the party and say, we are a good party, no? Also, is all drawn into the other person. So I just say me good party no, me say party no. You don't do that to a political party. You are threatening the party. Obi, people lay down their lives for this party. And yen nipa baako ye kura yen kwala obi me say me ya kwala kete at least 23 years of my life I've dedicated it to this party. 23 years. Me so say you 23 years of my life I've dedicated it to this party. Obi call online, call Google, call Facebook, call Twitter. Now question when you did not tell nipa ya pop nipa 5 e bi o matem wo party mu from the NDC side. Me can. But I am not on radio complaining about what I feel. Me personally, I feel say the party should have done and that the party should do. No, it is not about my personal view. It's about the collective agreement of the party. Say the Ebeko. I may disagree, but I have to follow. Even if I have concerns, there are internal mechanisms. Party, say concerns. It doesn't include blackmailing the party and threatening the party on radio. And it's a question should not come on air to justify this. It is very unfortunate. I am ashamed. I'm embarrassed.
No, but Kwesi,
by what I heard.
I don't think Kwesi justified it, did he? Because what I heard him say,
in some way, that's what happened.
Yes.
So over radio, so now because there are legitimate concerns. We need to do this. Say there are party people. The party should not brush it aside. You are justifying it. You see, the point is that you have concerns. Everybody does, including even Dr. Mahamudu Baumia, who is the flag bearer, including the General Secretary Koduya. Everybody has concerns because as individuals, we have different understanding of issues. But that is why the party has system to aggregate views and take decisions. It is the aggregated views. You take a decision. Now you follow. Not certain party now. You cannot have justification for it. I don't want our concerns.
In that interview, he and I think Kwesi Kwarteng also repeated. He mentioned specific names. Do you think, sir, in the interest of party unity, those specific names you should maybe render an unqualified apology to him, and then you can move on as a party? If
they say they won't do, are they the party? Those individuals, some of them are MPP. You have personal issues with people, personal problem. You feel that some individuals have personally hurt you. Are they MPP? Obi me to way. Me kwam na me MPP. Into can say some miracles. Antonio Mama Mia. MPP. Oh, what are you doing? That is not how we run a political party. It is a winning flag bearer. And Dr. Mahmoud Bamia, say, Open Cabane de. Aden Obi. It is also a flag bearer. And Dr. Mahmoud Bamia, and Cabane de. Obi, okay, Bantidada. Okay, Honorable J.H. Mesa.
Yeah.
On one contact President Kofo. 1 year campaign in Tiano. Uncle Jina campaign, I think I said President Kofo, Eya Bantidada, or you know, just Wayento. President Kofo, we need private. What's a year? Said that J.H. Mesa and the number, completely, you don't threaten the new patriotic party. You don't. There is no justification for it. If you want something to be done, you don't threaten the party to have it done. Obi yesu so by 23 years in the party party no credit saying
Asempa FM
Obi party no edi saying so what you say it you cry yes sir it mu na mo say party na mo party no fitim tetetero. If you do this, you are putting all of us our lives at risk. We wake up in the morning and labor for this party. Ko Facebook na ko Twitter la ko Obi me wo constituency the Sheffield Ambrant here call up and down year Jumama party way. Na nipa baako because we say nipa mienu ana miense bi o ma ye bibia ma na ye oyenti o to party na actually now also be justified when our lives are at risk, people's future at risk. Omo muti opa obi bi already here na my MPP for etie won kasa na obete ya omudi for the past 6 months this party has been on course after the discussing. When was the last time you discussing MPP say? Now the tape beer you be discussing MPP in this light, it should be coming from you. Why? You're too baby honorable Brana Champo. So Lucy, what is our KBC? Only concern. Now to Obia quite let you know Lucy no yes here. You bet from my room. Dr. Mahmoud Bamia lost a national elections. Have you heard him do this to the country? Now Dr. Bamia Obi Wadaroma, Dr. Bamia Obia and Dinatem. Respectfully, Honorable Kennedy upon himself, and ne supporter, Onuan Kasa openly insulted Dr. Mahmoud Bamia, Onuan Kasa openly on the cameras in him, Dr. Mahmoud Bamia. What is that Dr. Bamia say? Member of Honorable Kasa, this will be family. Why? Why? Obi, why are you holding all of us at ransom? I'm very passionate about this conversation because Obi, yeah, bro. Yeah, bre. Me no kase fiti no pa makasa radio so mako 6. Mada me ni kum ne afre no me nyane na mafa phone. I was just on Joy News. Me yes me to nkwa as a person friend. Me na maso abefa call. Facebook na konse, Twitter na konse. Obi, there are MPP young people. Ya pamo mwesi o madwuma because some MPP for. They are counting on this party to get back to power. There are young patriots. Obi, oye na dwuma o Kumase, wa settle on in the family. Oye MPP ninti, NDC aban we buy. Ya post no call wale. Obi a wa born ne ho atena se wo Kumase. A we post na call wale. Da ben e na oba be peska aboabo no afa ne ma akwa wale akopɛ school e de ma no. Obi ye dwuma o tamale. Ho no te. Oye bibia o ho. Ya post na fi tamale e de na be hia bankan. Da ben and about to frame me. Also, you more DRE or Tamale. Almost putting if you Tamale Drabankai because of MPP. He has to come to Accra with his 5 children and his wife. How is this person supposed to even readjust? These people have been victimized and they are counting on the MPP to come to power. That is what the parties and its members are focused on. We are not focused on individual interests, what we feel, any emotions. Obi, yeni abriu. It's a question. I didn't want to comment on this thing. Joy, man, commenting on it. But me see no asempano. Me
Sempa FM.
Why do we do this? Dear Bonnie Pano Dr. Mahmoud Bamia. Oh, Boboni Pami say, Nakam so about Dr. Mahmoud Bamia. Din, and Konoa Besoya Babe Paucho. It's up a Benbium. Dr. Bamia Bausi and Wabetnase. And we dim common. Wa company for akanyina ho ne o dim kobo e de biom no ye to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia no kasada se o kaseti obi akwala na panin krada obi what ba kompoda sinipa no na ye flag bearer hwe bra papa ya bre 2024 campaign o ye tadwe da papa yitrim any ideas o wo man way o da to akonya so me no kasai committee meetings koso ono mo tinase omo hihye niema to provide alternative solutions to this country. But he can only implement this thing when he wins power. Or so no pedia na ma betu bibia tum.
Yeah, but
ono akasa ye de you. Na obi na bibi. He said obi why?
Yeah, but he even made the point say for the past 6 months party for mo to abayi mu leader ewie no. Obi aye kom kasa kramo nkasa bi na obi ampo ntimi nketa ide aban no because mu nyina no o Yusuf phrase the atente huo etua mu nua moto ti obi akra ntimi nkasa na part na asem wo ho na aban no ibu na oman no mu ntimi kra nkasa you heard that as well.
Is it true? No correct. And you see that is even disrespect to the teaming party people omoye Jumama MPP because obi what's your sempa? You know the news and the stories you have been discussing on Asempa. Is it the case? Say MPP, Eja Abino. Is it the case?
Asempa FM.
Isn't the NDC and its communicators all over the place defending this government? And your interview and Ndra, and when you be discussing, and won't we be discussing the NDC government? The most expensive government in the history of this country. The most expensive government in the history of this country, and it's our way. And no, discuss it as a quiet interview, no. And maybe you should remind him. So that is what we're discussing. Obviously, I have personally called on all our communicators not to comment on this thing. Ask them. It's even at their displeasure. When I gave them that gag order, some of them even disagreed with me, but I told them that is their order. I didn't even want to comment on this. But for you to even come and say MPP for job by normal Obi, is that true? The millions of MPP people who have taken this government on, you are basically saying someone here. It's hurtful. It's very hurtful. So me no can say any interview or quiet and raw threatening party here. And by now you discussing over bloated budget for this government. Because that's what we are discussing. And can discuss Chief Justice on your buying and penny for Shibomudam Pabakoso and Kadana Kabana Yeka. So you are the one who has distracted the party right now. And so don't come and disrespect the people who are sacrificing their lives for the party, fighting for this party day, afternoon, night. I am hurt by that comment. Very, very hurt by that comment. And yeah, and then I say, yeah, and a Dr. Mahmoud Bamia, any Christian Council Koshia. Obi, and yes, a few weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, and a minority friends committee, at the report on Mukonya free cocoa farmers, around the country, at the bread of Mahmoud Bamia. So what is he talking about? DM Panoka. Why? Yes, sir, no. Yes, sir, no. Obi, respectfully. People's lives are under threat because of this government. Obi, me no can say. Now by way tata. They would go after everything in your life. But we are all putting everything on the line to put this government on its toes. Because after all, Kebma Minkebi, and none in a womb, yes, you are being no Musomkasa. It's a phone my equanians yakasa. I didn't be you been by way on a back foot or more yen yama and wow, mine a become what he would have to throw something in. Why?
There, I've cited a petition online from one of more party, I think, Deputy Tescon National Coordinator also, or the Akoma Party General Secretary said, Honorable Ken should be taken through disciplinary process. I don't know, so what site is our petition now, but oh, you've seen it?
Yeah.
You think it's the way to go?
I don't have any view on that. The party has structures and systems to deal with issues. I mean, for example, party member you are not sure petitioning. That is the way to go. Or concerns party no is share offer so. It is any place you know, or women are support or concern. But once on one call radio TV so one called the party na them and threaten party no. Or their top papers or their come the appropriate committee. That is the way to go. As to whether meritorious of anything or not, that is not in my place to see. But the Minister Party in Penifon Saka on whom say the papa bu woman come bed be faso no no dia faso.
Ma yemfa no enso hona now let me talk to you as team lead for the People's Forum. Na mihumu open letter matro the Akoma Chief Justice. There is a response already from the Office of the Judicial Secretary. Na ose Judicial Service clarifies circumstances surrounding Chief Justice's visit to Black Stars camp in Canada. Meaning, when you be a kaya, but I'll say the Judicial Service has taken note of public commentary and media discussions following the circulation of photographs showing His Lordship Justice Paul Bafo-Boni, Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, during a visit to the camp of Ghana's senior national football team, the Black Stars, in Canada. While public interest in matters concerning holders of high public office is understandable and forms an important aspect of democratic accountability, it is necessary to place the facts surrounding the matter in their proper context. The Chief Justice is currently on official vacation. His trip to Canada was undertaken in his private capacity and entirely at his own expense. During his stay, and as a patriotic Ghanaian and keen sport enthusiast, the Chief Justice took the opportunity to visit the camp of the Black Stars to offer words of encouragement and support as they participate in the ongoing FIFA World Cup. The visit was motivated solely by a desire to support the national team and should be viewed in that light. Photographs taken during the visit have, however, generated commentary and speculation that do not accurately reflect the circumstances under which they were taken. The Judicial Service wishes to emphasize that judicial independence does not require judges to withdraw entirely from society or cease to participate in ordinary aspects of national life. Judges remain citizens of the Republic and members of the communities they serve. What the Constitution requires of judges is independence of mind, fidelity to the law, and impartiality in the discharge of their judicial functions. These are the principles that guide the conduct of the Chief Justice and all judicial officers. In every democratic society, persons occupying different constitutional offices will inevitably encounter one another in both official and non-official settings. The mere fact of such encounters cannot, without more, reasonably be construed as evidence of partisanship, bias, or political affiliation. The Chief Justice remains fully committed to the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, the independence of the judiciary, and the fair and impartial administration of justice to all persons, irrespective of political persuasion, social status, or personal background. It goes on and on and on. But the most important part of the statement, this should settle more concerns and sa open letter no anamebwa.
First of all, I mean, you very appreciate the judicial service for at least responding to our letter. That's how democracies are run, and we are grateful. Even the swiftness with which my responding is quite refreshing. But again, it's very reassuring. I must also confess, because what kind of spirit of our letter, you'd realize that we're quite clear. Say, and I'll read one paragraph. You say this is not a question of whether you are a man of integrity. For the sake of this letter, I accept entirely that you are. However, the situation reasonably casts a shadow over your neutrality. In a constitutional democracy, optics are not trivial. They are foundational. The Lady Justice, in the scale of justice, wears a blindfold for a reason. It is a message to the world that justice is blind, that it does not see the face of power, that no one, not even the vice president, not even the president, has a privileged relationship with the temple of justice. Your conduct in the high office ought to give an assurance to the people of Ghana your complete neutrality. Obi, we are not questioning the integrity of the Chief Justice. We are questioning the optics and the discomfort that the Chief Justice conduct gives those of us who do not have such proximity to him. Into Ukaya letter now, I'm sure, say, as a lawyer, you'd read the letter and you saw the high level of respect and regard in the letter.
Yes.
That is what we represent. What we are saying is not to say Chief Justice, the can say, because Obi, already know, by way of persecuting a political opponent, or persecuting political opponent, or persecuting dissenting views. Meno can say, for the first time in the history of this country, bill has been weaponized to the extent say Oko a friend is saying court, and now Oko even security agencies so it means bail conditions are one here just say Oko now Oko friend may not be intervening. When now people are being kept 3-4 months in jail because someone to meet bail conditions. They have not been sentenced. Some of them have not even been charged for any crime, but simply because the law says let them put up some conditions so that when you are looking for them, you can find them. People are even punished before they even see their charge sheet. It is a sorry, no pa. Ni who say, omo disable ni we omo abemu no. Oni omo na ekọ party, omo adore no ho. Omo wo fase yie wo ho. Omo wo fase wedding wo ho. Udi di omo chi, omo tu ani wetiem. The bia na unam ho a. Obi is a legitimate cause for concern for us. And I'm not the only one that is concerned. In fact, Obi, so what kind letter you notice that there was a part in the letter where I made a very passionate appeal to the Chief Justice, where I was telling him, say, Mekra may sign a letter here on behalf of the People's Forum. Now I want to ask him, say, based on the relationship on the NDC full way, say letter here my choice, NDC focus on money so on money between many omono who has his ears, that they can even collaborate with him to come after me. Simply because they are not happy that I've called him out with his relationship, the relationship that he has with them. So we are only looking for assurance. Yeah, assurance. Yes, that's what the Chief Justice said. On your ordinary citizen, I hope Penamene Judicial Service, I disagree. The Chief Justice is not an ordinary citizen. The Chief Justice has no business to be seen following the president's brother at a funeral, like his boy. It is wrong optics. The Chief Justice should step out with aura, with grace, that whether you are President Mahama or former President Akufo-Addo, you have no privileged relationship with him. You are all equal before him. Whether you are miracles or you are the citizen Kojo Mensa, as far as friend is saying,
FM.
Before the Chief Justice, you are all equal. But in the current situation, I'm sorry, Obi. You to me pretend it. Oh, you're a lawyer. Oh, court. I know there are thousands of lawyers listening to me. His lordship, the Chief Justice, is not giving us that comfort. The relationship with the NDC, no, and awkward. You who be sad that. And my ya can be very uncomfortable. You believe in it. Send your new mutu yano. You supposed to say, some that's your backward. Omo wana son, you need a son. Because on your money coba, on your money nakana. And that is not what the office of the Chief Justice is supposed to be doing. Yeah, but I am glad that the Judicial Service has responded, but they should take what we are saying into good faith. It's not just about saying you are neutral. It is about how you show everybody say you can be neutral.
Yeah, but the optics point you make, no, the statement for the Judicial Service said, don't dwell so much on the optics, and they make the point, sir. Let me get this part, no. The Judicial Service wishes to emphasize that judicial independence does not require judges to withdraw entirely from society. In the judges backward word, non-backward party, or cease to participate in ordinary aspects of national life. Justices are also citizens of the Republic. They are members of communities or seeing them at parties, funerals, should not lead you to drawing conclusions.
Nancy, Supreme Court Judge Biba,
yes. Yes.
Chief Justice by.
Yes.
That is not of concern because that is the Chief Justice colleague on the bench, Neba Wedding. But for Christ's sake, if you attend the communications officer of the NDC, Sami Jemfi's father-in-law's funeral, and you are seen following the president's brother like his boy, I have the video I can share with you. Obi, that is not you being part of society. That is you basically romanticizing with the people in government. It gives those of us who are not in government discomfort. Because already, these people in government are persecuting us. They are harassing us. That is what we are talking about. Immediately you stepped into that role as Chief Justice, you cease to be an ordinary citizen. It means that you don't withdraw from social event or society, but you carefully choose. You carefully choose. Obi, did you see the video of the Chief Justice of Canada? I was embarrassed to the extent that Chief Justice of the Republic, the number 4 man in this country, Edu baby no Jinechide, Sebe, to say Osha. This man should be there with an entourage. The Chief Justice of the Republic.
No, almost say on this Canada trip, it was a private trip. He's on vacation.
Obi, the Chief
he was
Justice
not there
of the
as
Republic
Chief Justice.
of Ghana on a private trip should not be seen awkwardly being enclosed, being in an entourage with the Vice President. I'm sorry, but that is bad optics. It's as if he has been shoved behind. General Vice President and a Vice President. No, you stand shoulder by shoulder with the Vice President of the Republic and you shake the hands of the players. The Chief Justice should not be seen in the shadows of people in government as if he wants a favor from them, and that if he's not following them in that manner, they will take something away from him. I am not comfortable. The People's Forum are not comfortable, and the millions of Ghanaians in this country are not comfortable.
The People's Forum,
to you as a last resort.
The People's Forum should understand that in every democratic society, and I'm reading from the Judicial Service statement,
yes.
In every democratic society, persons occupying different constitutional offices, in this case, the President, the Vice President, the Chief Justice, the Speaker of Parliament, the EC boss, and all of the other heads of the ICBs, will inevitably encounter one another in both official and non-official settings. It's possible, sir, in a non-official setting like Stadium Ewa Canada, the Chief Justice can encounter the Vice President. Almost say, the mere fact of such encounters cannot, without more, reasonably be construed as evidence of partisanship, bias, or political affiliation.
Obi, perception is important. Optics cannot be trivialized. It's foundational. Judicial Service, I am sure, would admit this. All we are saying is he should work on it. We are not comfortable with it. We believe that as the Chief Justice of the Republic, we don't want to see you in the shadows of the people in government. Because he who is our near yum say any omunya someone who bet your moon. That's what we are saying. They should take it and work on it. Because you will be say that. Mami example of any chief justice who be say one order. You will be say that. This is the first time. And so we are not used to this as a country. What we are used to is a chief justice that gives that aura, that grace, that confidence. Hey, you know, I don't see anybody, I don't hear anybody. I see the law, I hear the law, and everybody is equal. In this current circumstance, judicial secretary, judicial service, respectfully, the optics is crucial. Don't trivialize it. Perception is important. Don't trivialize it. That's what we are saying, Ruby. And we are appealing to them to read the letter again and read it in detail. Don't defend it. Rather, look at it and see how you can amend and make sure that every other citizen is comfortable. Obi mi tisi amino kasi. And this is for better me no mo de me call. Now so mo ka so mo ko tata me. And if no mo de me kan court. And yet chief justice say me so na making.
Yes.
Democracy is woman me ho kwan say me to be chief justice say me boa. Then it's a chief justice here American as me. Na on NDC for na nam omo konta no ni omo nse wono ma yi ase. E di president ni echi to say the boy sebe. Na se me ko jira na nimu a. Obi say assembly be crime do for can edit me. Say me madwe me say oni o makabo no we dey tie me boa.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. And only the America.
Miracles.
E be crime na masem no be di for. But it's not say kwan ya wafa so oni o man nante. And oni o mu di hwe ehwe bom nti. Say me ba na masem no e be crime me di for kwa udi tie me a. Bitumi dika say oni o mo hwe bom nti na we di asem na den. Etia me. Yes, you know. That letter we wrote was with all intent and purpose to help us shape our democracy. So one say Obi. In our conclusion, let me read and I'll end there. This is what we said. Your Lordship, history will ask whether during one of the most fragile periods in the life of Ghana's judiciary, in which one chief justice was removed from office for you to be appointed by President John Omani Mahama as chief justice, you conducted yourself in a manner that strengthened or weakened the public belief in the independence of the court, or you superintended over a judiciary that was fair, impartial, and protective of the rights of Ghanaian citizens and business. I call upon you in the name of Ghana's constitution, in honor of your own sworn undertaking, and in service to the generations of Ghanaians who will inherit the venerated institutions you had, to rise to the full and uncompromising demands of your office. We are simply asking the Chief Justice to step back, watch the optics he has put out so far, and amend it in a way that makes all of us comfortable. For now, those of us who take on this government, we are not comfortable because of his romance with the people in government.
Very well. Miracles, may not see any ever say about being comobio. Why?
I'm sure about you.
Yeah, that's a papa point. That's Dennis Miracles Sabwajo, a team lead at the People's Forum, and Onwan Sosai, communications director for Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, and Motezi Aneno AD Nkomo. Ekosi Saints, Haya Sempa 94.7 FM. Yene Professor Michael Buedinyamiche Ebedi Nkomo, but that would be after this very, very short and Benghazi for artwork netosona amanfo in Yene Professor Michael Buedinyamiche Ebedi Nkomo ene oye lead pastor Edema Makers House Chapel International and science university lecturer Chradie ewo UPSA. That's the University of Professional Studies Accra, or science a business consultant. Inti meko ahomane so na yeneno edin komo from his base in the United States of America. Prof, otemenka akwaba ekosi science ni.
Oh, Obi, me don't candido na. Michiao ni wasifu and Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to everybody on Asempa FM.
Sure. Many happy returns. I mean, we are 6 months into the year already. Mekai say the beginning of the year, beginning the year right serious. No, as you've done over the past years, no. Na fibia oba eba beboayen. This year, akwantunti went to me by say the better na middle of the year, no. ye ne o edi nkomo na yahwe waboa ye ma yakaika ye ho se ye new year plans ayeye omo a etumi achieve one day eden na obeka kire won omo a omo nso bibi nti omo ntimi enye de omo de si omo ani so no eden na obeka kire nti ye frɛ wa tiawa ni senti eno no prof
me da CBM and say as empire me fee because he's saying so your program I enjoy the organ and your program me permit so na beginning of the year be our man is akwenya no e ma me to me ba e share thoughts or ideas with the people on the platform, and I don't take it for granted at all. I said that any when you producers, every year you give me the opportunity, I come and I share based on the topics that you give me. I come and I share some thoughts with you, and help all of us to bring together not only ideas but see again from an academic, intellectual, spiritual perspective, faith perspective, how people are supposed to order their steps. Also said in conflict to two manamo.
Yes.
And the said me amenya kwenya it's not shown so beginning of the year it's a coming calendar home for every year.
Yes.
And your program happens to be a program meaning say it blesses almost everybody that listens to you. I know of very high clerics almost TO program, and it's interesting. So when the flyer came out, I've had people call me and tell me about the flyer and their expectations. It means found maybe brave, but a Juma now the mama and say a Juma ed ding the say a Juma tiawa.
Sure.
Na need ding and say maybe I need a boom compon ashenichi. I am seeing oh baby I will free baby I will baby jua. You need any specific metrics I'll be to maybe a judge individual progress. One, because Obia war the strength, Obia war the pain threshold, Obia or how Obia said you'll see area safer orientations near world view could be very, very different. Meaning to me sound commodity be say. Then so say Yedijawa near the aswal.
Yes.
Say what on Safo media, then say what at the end of the day and only to meet Jesus and so intimate try as much as possible to bring us to the place of not only knowledge but also how to move things forward.
Okay.
I am say every period beyond and obia almost everybody at the end of every year 2025 will be ending and reflectively considered the year ahead of them. And that is what every normal, any sane or rational human being will do. Say, I feel ya obetsna se no ayense sie wabun kompon ahwe chiwa he baby ekoyi baby ankoyi na wahwe nim na wohunu de enyoma so a opese wachi de na nyoma onsa opese onsaka. But again, let me also start off by saying say enkofo with different expectation and therefore, because their expectations are different, the goals will also differ. But Abia Obioha Yesha Finasino, or yes, if you book or maybe and now they start a business, and now they lose weight, and now they are more spiritual.
Yes.
And you might be was our kind of so. But unfortunately, and you can abandon by February. Statistically, I mean, only 4% of the population worldwide are able to stick to the resolution that they make before a year starts.
Wow.
There are so many resolutions and for you, but stick to it. Now, the question is why? Why is that always the case? In the US in 2018, there was a report that said that across the United States, it was 6% of the people who were able to stick to their end of year resolution. But if you do the global average, you are getting about 4% of the world sticking to that. It means say place will be pay I'll be pay Nancy no bia any to me ejina sadian so nam sadian nti the person answer and measure san komo yasimi bisa and simwa be 4 pe and no and be me compass me dey ba be chire sadian 4 things. 4 critical questions that I want everybody to reflect on, to think about. The first one is, how are you doing as far as your 2026 resolution is concerned?
Okay.
How are you doing?
Okay.
That's how you get very candid with yourself. They say, oh, June. I feel how are you doing as far as the resolution for 2026 is concerned? That's question number 1. Question number 2, which of the goals I will set him out and I will to me achieve? Which of them? As said, you're mechanic, yes, over the book, yes, over start a business, yes, over lose weight, or yes, over more spiritual, or yes, I feel over worry. Which of them have you been able to achieve so far? Number 3, do you have sight still on the vision? Adiana or the two when you do the actually so obey and I say to say the why so baby a dream the I mean person is and you know my two na it's not measure the before and the last one that I'll ask before I continue is how is your motivation gauge? The bia we bia no the motivation you have to be motivated to be able to do most of the things that you want to do in this your lifetime. Now, no question is answer. I hope you try to do it. Anytime your motivation is extrinsic, you are bound to fail. 70% losing weight because obi losing weight. And now me person me losing weight, me person me worry. We say obia warrior. Normally that kind of motivation, because it is extrinsic, if we about thing and a bent, normally you will fail. Yeah. The probability that you do well is very, very small or very slim. And so if you want to have a good shot at doing well, there should be that proclivity to intrinsic drives.
Okay.
Let me say it again. So, person kind when you now person we maybe ne etumponwa. Also, unya one kasa adian a free one kasa should be intrinsic, not extrinsic. Said you, the person is losing weight because I want to be healthy. Not the person is losing weight because obi losing weight. Sano, you are bound to fail. The person is started business because I want to, not because other people have started it. Anytime your motivation is extrinsic, you are bound to fail. Okay. You should be intrinsically driven. I just say, I think in the textbook of organizational behavior, they will tell you that there are people who are more internal locus of control and people who have external locus of control. Now, more external locus of control. No, or person who fan a befano may chain me or famana befamia quabrichi may chain me papia mana bebuame me brother bia mana yiniana just may chain will be many that will be a wabon tin so or more external locus of control. Obi or internal locus of control, obia or be who say oh yeah the captain of his life. Okay. Obi who say on a year na brabo in 70 he will make the right choices. I said those times when you say that so not PPAG4 advert be PPAG4 advert many years ago he used to play on GTV or say it's your life, it's your choice.
It's your life,
people
it's your choice.
Who have internal locus of control, they know that once it's their life, it's ultimately their choice. And so back to the questions. How are you doing as far as the resolution for 2026 is concerned? Number 2, which of the goals have you been able to achieve? Number 3, do you have sight? Do you still have sight on the vision that you or the goals that you have set for yourself? And the last one, how is your motivation gauge?
Yes.
They say, at the end of what to what will be just say, I mean, why deflated? And I say you are still pumped up for it. Now, idea Emma and Conti you may maybe say, I mean, Samra back to saying, said, for the sake of our education, our learning, our discussion, I want to use, say, the Ghana flag to do that.
Okay.
Because they say you try to hoist the nation of Ghana and the flag of Ghana high.
Sure.
Your bumpire is a Black Stars and Konini. Now, into me, Emma Ghana for Ubia any yet. Ghana flag. We have the red, we have the gold, we have the green. And so I'm going to use the Black Star, the Ghana flag to explain some of these things. And to say, what to me, how you are, they say, I asked 4 questions, how you are doing as far as your resolution is concerned, which of the goals you have achieved, do you have sight on the vision? Do you still have sight on the vision? And the last one is, how is your motivation gauge? And to now say maybe and And interestingly, Asempani the same program, I've been told, and I know, I mean, Obia Utibia, I mean, himself, watch the Wadia to that. Now, what that? It's my minister. At the end, I watch the two and make a sofa. And I'm a percent also I want you to have a total recall of all the things that was set out so in 2026. Again, let me give the example. For instance, you said you write a book. You said you start a business. For instance, you said you want to lose weight. You said you want to be spiritual. You said you want to get married. You said you wanted to start saving more. You wanted to go back to school. You wanted to learn a trade. You wanted to get into craftsmanship. Okay, so be or start a podcast. Maybe I will be start a podcast. Be apart from just it can be something that you set out to do. Start getting so what far I say you go through all the things I watch them. Now you're honest with yourself for me because I wish I was there and I would have brought something to probably do the graphs and teach in a way that it would have helped this conversation. So what far dear now after me share. Again, a mood to do a saying about to me a year and no categorize it and no as green. In fact, my name using numbers simple. My name is 0, then 1, 2, 3. My name is 0, then 1, 2, 3. Okay. And your 0, 1, 2. 2 and 3. Also for the black stars, don't forget black stars. So your red, gold, green, and a black. And we have 4 items in the Ghana flag. I'm still going to represent it with the same thing and do 0, 1, 2, 3. So for the sake of numbers, in Timanian say, there will share what to what to me a year that marking as 3. That is, you've attained. You've optimized. Where do they be out there? And also the Miakaseli green. There not a dawenim would do what I say why yeah, but and I say a stole it there, but you still want to do it. Mark it as yellow, or you can mark it as 2.
That's true.
But I was started, but in your new baby, I was started a shot here, but if you want to there, a new baby, I will pay it in your shot here, 1. The would try to went to me and your crown with a soul marking at 0. My minister shall see for your man, I would try to catch the one say a fit 2026. Opeso book, Opeso school, Opeso Shan Juma, Opese Lucy Wait, Ebia, Omo Baba ya now say man Wizolo, Ebia, 2% I say, Opeso Yebi, Sadia man in our Chalatuano. Let us see a sample a movie. A mutu do a saying and our Chalatuwa, you do that Julia unto me, went to me and your crutches after they went to me and your marking 0 money. There was starting a movement to be at this idea, what shall say, but what shall say on the 2 baby marking 1 money. There was shall say Koye, but as a story, I don't know, but as a kiki and I say in blue, baby, our person called marking 2 money, and I say marking yellow. After the 1 casa. What to me, who says this one I've been able to attain it. I want you to mark it as 3 or green. So what to me is idea now, or the 4 idea. Then say we are on the right track. Oh, my class, I can make a clap for yourself if you've been able to do that. And so why is idea now? If you've been able to do that, that's what drew or red. I want to tackle even the reds and the yellows, or the 0s, the 1s, and the 2s. And most of the time, the entire OBU program is very important. It's a mid-year is actually the perfect time to check in.
Yes.
Because when you get to the mid-year, it's not too late to course correct. Let me put it again. When you are in the middle of the year, it is not too late to course correct. And it's also not far enough in to spot real patterns. And so, I do baby, say, oh, I deal with okay, it's a good time. I'll be to ISID. And say, why is now? I want you to free yourself from any guilt, I'm not here to judge you. So start here when to me and I'm not putting you as part of the 96%. Almost start here by February. They just drop everything and they don't stick to it. That's not why OB's program is for. It was the same program. A lawyer, the program is to help all of us get better, to grow, to develop, to get to the places of impact. Now you between assume your mind, assume your dating, any abrabo eye. And it's why you're saying your money now. Went to me and yes, our reps, our zeros. Sometimes the reason why people are not able to get to their destination, Obi, is just the fact that a lot of the people, we have what we call vain or vague goals. And the area goal near too vague. Why any can see it? I feel what Jano what to at the end of person why a very broad, very vague, and so there are no true units of measure. And yes, sir, you don't do well. Should I say? Who go and build a tower without first sitting down to count the cost, okay? So Luke 14:28 will say that. Those of you who are biblically inclined, Luke 14:28, who first want to build a tower without sitting down to count the cost. And so, say, oh, you sit down, you are breaking it down into very granular details. And kakran now between you know, and no stand Kaudi kind of the chassis. So say bompire I feel every day be I'm a bompire 2 hours a day. I'm telling you are gonna fail. But say I feel a bompire I want to first 5 minutes of my day I want to pray. Then you move from 5 minutes to 7 to 10, 2 to 15, then you keep on increasing. I think the entire to me your red zones. And you might be bringing to me achieve your free and a jai to is because you're not too broad, it's too vague. And to me and tracking even the progress, the little gains or the little progress that we make. Again, let me say this. It is for you to attain the end of your resolution. It is the incremental steps or actions that you take. Said you 2 million Ghana cedis because you wanted 2 million Ghana cedis. But Yankupo bebro 1,000 Ghana ne. It's now be another 1,000. No, you're 10, no, you're 15. 2 million now or de brono. But one show you how because I change 2 million a boom no. And the bedroom we are 2 million, but one who say we are 2 million because our mamum and that is how growth actually is. And the entire program and I let the say your 2 years that frame and say evaluation is an important component of growth. So person grow, you have to evaluate. I to say strategic management. You have a period whereby you do the strategy formulation, then you do the strategy implementation, then you do the evaluation, monitoring and control. And so until you are able to evaluate, monitor and control the outcomes, you'll never be able to keep track of what you have been able to achieve or what the corrective actions or measures that you are supposed to take. And the first thing that most of the mistakes and for a year is the fact that expectations and our goals not too vague. Now, when you make your expectations vague, I want you to write this down. When your expectations are vague, you become a hopeful Tarzan. Let me say it again. When your expectations are vague, you become a hopeful Tarzan. A hopeful Tarzan is somebody who will swing from one vine to another, or from one branch to another. So you don't have stability. You are just hopeful. You are say those times there was swimming go foot and batch the so dia sum na teta ire mo atia fa na ni so na ire mo tifa na ni so timi fa no de bona to form no akofa ba no de ba na to form one so akofa ahwede hono na say no de ko boni pa no because I don't know you are just a hopeful Tarzan. And that's what I mean. If you don't if you make your expectations vague, your goals vague, your resolutions vague, you become a very hopeful Tarzan and you swing from one vine or one branch to the other, and that one you won't do well. And TM said, your expectations not say expectations, the man I read, Mr. A too big, and I say a too vague, and I say, now I say a back into your expectation, and now say you went in there because it was extrinsically driven. A young coffee, I affected dear any, I ain't see any, or maybe I know more, any show could pass, and certainly idea one cat out of Abia, so one cat away who say, this is what I want to do, and then this is what I think will be good for me. Now, one pursue that, and then you are going to have a problem. So let me go back and say these things to you. Everything that you are going to be able to achieve is going to come as a result of incremental actions or steps that you are going to take. It's the steps, the incremental steps and actions that you are going to take. And no any do be kwa do baby a obet me aka say New Year resolution na tim kwano what to me aginin kwa every a state of comatose and ICU. Now the number be see yam say sa na me objective the person me wie and me no be wie odofo na wo hunu and yoma also here we are going to decide upon revision of Sanyama na wa church again. I want you to understand, say, most of the time we look at the outcomes, and the reason why a lot of people don't do well is because we concern ourselves with the outcomes. I want to lose weight. Now, if it is weight loss and a year goal, you are not going to get it because you are looking at an outcome. But you see, lifestyles are not sustained by outcomes; they are sustained by habits. And so instead of saying, say, me person you lose weight, I'll rather say, I need to, I want to be healthy. Instead of saying I want to lose weight, I would say that I want to be healthy. Now, in wanting to be healthy, obviously, exercising will be part. Eating right will be part. Ultimately, it will cause me to lose weight. For instance, let me give you another example. You say, this year, I want to make sure say anate me go ni say me room me tea and me fear me tea metra. I want to metra me them. That becomes and I said that becomes an outcome. And I said, sorry, me say every obi fear those to be fear need is an outcome you are looking at. But you see, fear need if you are to say you should know feel to me piano machine pass now the new machine so be back to your but that is not what that is not the pathway into getting a sustained or a sustainable platform of whatever you want to do. Say, I want a clean home and not your friend said the habit that will come. In fact, let me say this. Somebody, and I recommend this book to you if you are somebody who likes to read. Read the Atomic Habits. Okay. Atomic Habits will tell you some of these things there. It is not so much about the outcomes, but it's the habits that you undergird what the outcome you want with. And we fear a cleaner. What are the habits I'm supposed to cultivate? Warrior. What are the habits I'm supposed to cultivate? I have to start practicing fidelity. I have to start practicing partner. I mean, those are the things that you have to cultivate because you see, we fail not because we lack vision. We fail not because we lack vision. We fail because we don't have the sustainable plans for the visions that we try to cultivate. And to say, per se, New Year resolution, tini kobe dia emudo, near do baby a dear Nimunamshe, oh, we've been able to accomplish a lot more. Also, developing the habits that will sustain it. And or reds, nene, or greens, or reds, nene, or yellows, the reason why it is back on. Again, let me also say this. Most of the time, people are not able to zero. Anyone, now commitment, any discipline, any drive, anchor for it, In fact, let me say this. I did a research into gym enrollment. Actually, it's a paper that I'm publishing with one of my friends who happens to be a professor in South Africa. Okay. And we are doing a paper on something to do with gym enrollment. And you realize that gym for for free from December to January. Because that is the time Uncle Phoebe could share. It needs to quite meet 1 year subscription. Or 2 years, And it's our pain now, in temporal pain, it denies them from their permanent gains. And it's the one who say, sometimes to get to the top, you have to suffer, and that you have to commit more to the thing and what's setting it out as a goal or as a vision. I'm telling you, you won't go very far. And unfortunately, that is where most people are. They set out big goals, but they don't have the commitment, they don't have the drive, they don't have the discipline for it. If you want to go far, you have to develop the discipline for the things that you have put together. So your person will be a business. Business now person will be what is the level of discipline that you are committing to the startup? Because starting up a business, that you said you are and it happens throughout the animal kingdom, whether the higher animals or the lower animals, whether you are looking at even akoko awunin wusu, akoko shane fofra, akoko batino, or the ana akoko bidie, ana akoko batino, or the na who are defending him because mofrani shamun they can't send for themselves. Jata won a mass anobe, menchi won a mass anobe, sounds nipa, a business, and also we you have to guard, protect, defend the vision that you have. Untimi and start a business. Now committee, committed to the business. It will never work. And the business now, okay, so starting now grow business. And also starting grow business not from 200 clients to probably 1,000 clients. And that happens to be your New Year resolution. You want to go from 50,000 Ghana cedis a month to probably 150,000 or 200,000 Ghana cedis a month. What is the discipline towards whether it's advertising? It's your friend is saying product development, market development, your penetration strategy. Again, your mana odi gua kwemu I be peja say jumana odi si wedi so yeno. Said you ultimate business from 200 clientele base to 1,000. After a leader of the business, you're committed to it. And your commitment to that vision is crucial. Said the war started business. Oye madam, ona obuti, ona pamatade, ona oye makeup, ona oye DND, where be a boutique, where be a shop. One kasa madam, no oko shop at 10 a.m. and now oko shop at 12. Now on kora could be in at 6 or 7. Now madam, what to was here to count tutors. About 12 o'clock. Most of the people are also on their business. Maybe to abako. If you are when you sit here, when you fed here, or what dog, ain't no mobaho. So one TSS on Sabbath form. And the discipline, the commitment to what you have set out to do is so crucial. If you are going to do well, commit to it, be purposeful, but commit to it that this is what I intend doing, this is where I intend to go, and then you can push forward from there. So what grade, honestly, I'm happy that you have done that. Now, can you review for me, do a revision, and now let's decide which of them genuinely do you think, say, wait there, it was too much. I did wait there mean to me. Maybe I did wait there, need to me test you. And that one, I would like you to drop it. And those of you, the other ones that you think, say, okay, make me but can you make it more realistic? Because that's what SMART goals are about. It should be specific. It should be measurable. It should be achievable or attainable. It should be realistic. It should be time bound. Sadia now, and how realistic is it? And to say realistic, then of course we can mark it to the as part of the yellow, and so it's stalled, but you want it, and so we should push it more. And then if it is the green, you should keep the momentum, and you shouldn't let down your guard. Obi, I don't know if I'm talking too much, or you have any questions for me. I have a couple of things to do, and so Obi, some question I will do that. But
I think so far,
say that wherever stage I went through. Motivation is still crucial.
Okay.
You have to roll up your sleeves and catch it.
Yes.
Football cry in 2 parts. Ghana ne Panama match. First half go for kind ankuyi kra ankuyi. Or first 6 months ankuyi kra.
Yeah. Hello,
Prof.
No, let me person do want to see on commitment bits and any motivation bits and I'm Yes.
And so let me say this. If you lose the motivation to live a day longer, you've already thrown in the towel, and it means that you are exiting. And so you have to roll up your sleeves. Or for 6 months now, I cut 6 months. So that's 6 months now, you can roll up your sleeves and get back to get back to work. Obi Bajana? Okay, sorry.
No.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I thought. Yeah. So roll up your sleeves, get back to work, refocus, refuel, and do the work as you are supposed to do it. I want you to go back and refuel. Don't do baby, I want go back and refuel, refocus. Especially if it is something within reach, if it's something that you know you can get done, if it's something that you know you can do it and do it better. I want you to go back and stay motivated and do it. So the be our person you be a losing motivation and you can't do anything. And Liam said yes. For the questions so that I can answer.
Good. And in the one question and I'm a person me busa a year. Now we focused on Omoa Omuntumi enye di omo se omo beye ena ya chechro nioma we se omo ye afei se obi nso asase ye was started ono no oye bibia eden na ohia to be able to continue with momentum our share from January no.
Okay, me that's it bien. You need how to reward ourselves. You need how to reward ourselves. So should be a say. Not say fancy the idea to an issue. Sorry, it's you and so not to him. But the idea you and is that you really had the person is said you so to me. Yeah, I say won't training or come will feel. So training come I am treats. And the Intiamakamani treats is to encourage the dog to keep doing it because the more oil, the more Nobina treats. And it's the same thing. So the idea is when you should not say you and so yes over coaching. Now you say what me call yes over started be what me start yes say over cut it down on in Sanom. You say what me cut it down drastically. I want you to reward yourself. And rewarding yourself simply means patting yourself on the back and just telling yourself, so you know what, boy, you did it and now you were able to do this. And most people don't think but it is a very good thing if you are going to do well. Psychologically, it affects and it gives you the morale or the impetus to keep on going. Say what to me, number two, apart from rewarding yourself, number two will be that you keep your momentum with what I call weekly or daily commitments. So at the end, but at the end, ujai tukwa ebe say enti koswa ne koso. Said you penny for CTNT, I die cheswa. And she said, Tidas swing dear. A mountain at this one. Fact that's Facosu Jenny, Facosu to an amount now, because we committed to the things that are bringing you the increments now with Yano. At the end, I do call him, keep on doing it and reward yourself every little game. Say, first now, Orient 5 bottles a day, not about one. Pat yourself on the back. It's one of the ways that gets you going. After you don't say, I've been able to. I used to do 5. I do 1 now. So I'm not saying it's the ideal place to be, but at least celebrate the increments, celebrate the small victories. And people don't know how to celebrate the small victories. And because they don't know how to celebrate the small victories, say any big idea and not small thing, they are them. And number 2, again, as I said, commit to it. Keep the momentum going. Whatever keep doing it. And obviously, if you've been able to achieve it, be like the greedy banker. I call them the greedy bankers. The greedy banker is the banker amount target. Said this year, the target for you, Obi, 100 million Ghana cedis. Drew media, 100 million Ghana cedis. Moko a year. Strategic session and now strategic meeting. Wakaji also there be Adena Kasano na make us 100. But me share said the numeracy can also come in 200. Now I say pushing movie. And if you've been able to do just a little, push yourself up and then also break them down. Don't make it too big, but break it down and commit to it weekly, daily. Evaluate your life daily, evaluate your life weekly. Sometimes it is even good that every month we nipa bun kompon Sh0oting do a proper audit of your life. It's never wrong to do that. Do a proper audit of your life and see the progress you've made, and where you fall short, we can take corrective measures or actions to corrected.
Wow.
Asempa
Wow.
FM.
I mean, Prof, where o lecturing experience now the about to bear in doing all of what you all of what you've done in 30 minutes. That's some real massive stuff. Yeah, that's it. Papa, and I believe sir Metier for looking at feedback have been very, very happy with the session. We say get back to work very deep. God bless you, sir. Efia Kwenedu, Israel Arthur is also blessing you, and he says self-reward is the best intrinsic motivation you can give to oneself.
That's right.
Yeah, that's Obi our joining on YouTube. Adwoa also say smart goal, specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and time-bound. Thank you so much. And messages, we appreciate all of them. Or more, the messages about to Prof. I am hoping and believing, sir. 6 months to go to the end of the year. January 2027, beginning the year right series on radio. Any in summit I be to crown it, no. Nyame ya domo yebehu e studio ha.
Papa, I'm looking forward to it. Me pese me back studio now. Me be our program and near sign crowning with the summit. I'm really looking forward to it.
Sure. But you've been away from Ghana for some time. What's been happening? BBI Boko.
Oh, Boko pa bibia nyamia dum bibia Boko yem se there will be no menya nkofo bebre o mo bisa me say adeti na me my na bibia Boko, but the truth of the matter is everything is very fine. Nyamia dum nyame di ehia se ewufie o Ghana Maureen say in the beginning of my life, I used to be a citizen of the world. Mm-hmm. And I have stayed quite in a couple of places from Europe and I did so many things, and God brought me to Ghana to start doing his work there. And I'm happy he did. Mm-hmm. I'm glad so Nyankopo to ya namo ebashi Emma or my ebe share Jumedi FFF at say I a friend at the Maker's House. Now when we started the Maker's House, one thing that was very clear was that God told me it's not for you, it's my church. And God, and let me say this, put this on record. And kofo obia ne obia or obey bia any gintia ne Ghana. Again, let me say it again. Obi obey me to say obia obey me to say nkofo bia omo ma brabum. They know why I am away. And me obia mtiasem na adie ba kwa abua me over my lifetime. Means na you in che but me year 50 years into means shabibre so sa. Now over the short time I met do yasino. Ade ba ko amabe appreciate pa is to take counsel from men and from women that God has placed in your life. Now maybe a chem me papa ba ko one of the father figures of faith and me kasai. Okachente Michael omana omo America no. We made a mistake. My time for Yankora. We spent all our lives building ministries and building churches. By the time we realized, yema IBBB elho, enti udiusha omani sususha, enti maweni enko omani. And so Mokasa said, I saw from penny for bear me and frame me can wasn't a trauma so, but I needed to also do things right and then build the capacity of the men and women around me, whether it is business or ministry or whatever it is, build the capacity of people to be able to continue with the work. Namia Dum, we did our best. 2023, 2024, till 2025, I spent about 2 years. Mama America. I'm a Tigana, and I'm a Sebio Asafo any human Yamedia Shemensa. The Obiadia and one pan is a Metigana make me Mama America Mesha Mirini man this will be a customer abandoned Mirini Obia and Kabida Adena Papeotia Uncle Henry my daddy. Name of me 2 quite 1 year. I stayed in Ghana for 2 years and not na my home for 2 years. But no be ankasa. But I saw him penning for me, I saw for the minimum. In fact, I saw him penning for crying and catch him and say, Papa, we think you need to spend time with the kids, spend time with your children, and at the time, crucial time, yeah, more developing. This is the only time you can contribute to their lives. Again, Obi, maybe penny ankasa or college, already 19 October, and your college or college number Accra Melinens now or no college or college. How do you now go back to redeem the time? And so I decided say Sebio nyame adwuma nyame dia asafo no nyam bodi nyame sha asafo Yesu si mesima asafo na asamando pono ntimi ntwi mfaso ti asafo ni Kristo dia Sebio si mewu sesia na mekwa nyame mman nkwa chichi anyway but mewu sesia na mekwa me sure si Kristo asafo dia ebekoso akoso na de Yesu peso ye na asafo bia obeye no question so say God had raised strong men, strong women who are doing the work beautifully. Our church people, we raise the church on the ticket of the word. And to be about the maker's house, be a uninyamia sem or prepe nyamia sem or dinyamia semechi. And so it's helped. But I can tell you, Obi, say I'm here purposely to bond with my children, to help them know what I believe in. Said you say,
sure.
A better no ajini nyamina ni jini dine edi. Meya ma obi otia bonten na habe kire ne ma nyamia ebi amempeso ombehuno. Ana se mema oma peke character bia ebeye even impossible for me to correct. And again, I think that sa ebi asem so obi bisa wo de ultimate frame ya only me dim komo and everybody that is close to me will call. But in Kofobi Brady or Mubisa no most of them obi omuti omoyere no mo manchen yo. As only because all the men no you know man. Ebi awo de for the clan no pedua pe mo afore ema enipa. But it goes beyond that. I am here purposely. I came to the US to spend time and contribute to the development of my kids, to spend time with my wife and my children, and to instill the values I want them to have. And basically, that is what it is. And I believe everything has been.
While there, for the past a little over 1 year, are you still doing? Yeah, meaning say, you command your morning still, even at church. It will make some Sundays you are brought on to preach, with the aid of technology. But are you still doing ministry in the US? And yet the Okasava Zoom near the Ewagan in the US proper. Ministry. Are you starting a branch of the church? It's saying.
Yamian Ukraine say your mission, your international missions director now almost strategy. Actually say and she say yes, started the I think say we will. Of course, and only Yamian Bible say we should go into all the nations of the earth and be witnesses. And say as I see the nipa was to be saying Yamismayo Uzbekistan Ayebeko. Saying I mean say Juma Mayo Ghana me na menko Kosovo, menko Afghanistan. I think that Semisumi na me also me tinyame. It is a Yamisuma me be or semiko. Name me ba idea. I can tell you say I have been preaching in almost so many states. I've preached in almost every state since I came. I go everywhere to preach. Last 2 weeks, I was in Columbus, Jesus Power Assemblies of God. They normally a program from Monday to Sunday, and a fire conference. I was on it for throughout the week, I have been to Agape for from New Jersey to Wisconsin to Detroit, Michigan to Atlanta, Georgia. I've been almost everywhere to go and preach the gospel. In Nyamia Dome, we've tried as to wherever God sends us to. No, OBA boy homoding see Kenya. With God's people. I don't limit it to only Command Your Morning. There are physical in-person meetings too that I do across America, from one state to another, and it's been a blessing so far. I'm only looking forward saying me school now. Then I can come back home and do what I have to do in Ghana as well.
Oh, okay. That's great. Inti adofo ne enuanomo a hwese de o share boss empire ne say at least by the end of this year, entering January, beginning the year right summit no na nyame de wa.
Oh, na nyame adom na me no ye program it.
Fantastic. I can't wait for that. Inti we dey da se pass wa jimre ne yen edin come, and I'm sure say Sofmame and Nkola ni nyina age having you around for the past 1 year. The family bond and it is. Nyame adomo a say mitimi ebofa US wa me befia about this round. Why?
Oh, also about brother 7 Kacha.
Mate.
Street.
Prof, you better say Papa Panyamisha.
But I appreciate you, Obi. Thank you so much for the honor and the opportunity, and I look forward to being part of starting the year right and so.
Yeah, that's it. Yamisha Panonya Okese. Why? Yamisha. Professor Michael Bwedi Nyameche ena moten nka se one yen edi enkomo enti. We started off with some wisdom nugget on how to stay the course as far as New Year resolutions are concerned, to achieve them, to work on where we are falling short and all of that. And I think it's been extremely helpful. And he took time to also respond to some, media reports, be some newspapers, he has will flee from Ghana because Iyoko, and I'm like, really? And what kind of story? And so there is nothing like that in the story. Say, now sorry, baby, we're under investigation in the Yoko and Tiomufi say, or non, your boyfriend really crime. So we'll be committing a crime. Why should somebody, I think he's laid all of that way, narrative a build around not to rest. He's there to be able to bond with his family. He was here in Ghana for 2 years straight, and now on in the Busunya and so he's had to do that, because obey nyame adwuma na e was kwala nyame de won adom won so no utibi wada manfo benya gidie wo nyame nimu a e was won so. And that's why Paul said, I wish above all things that you prosper even as your soul prospers. Enti oye wo kra nkwaje ho adwuma no na wa brabo mu nsem enkola nyame de adom woni adenso no o hwe omuye to the glory of God. Enti yebeda Safo Bwedi Nyameche as, and we wish him very, very well. Say nyame nka na ona onfa ne meka yensa wo Ghana asomdwie mu. And then next year hopefully you hear from him here on Beginning the Year Right series. You don't want to miss that next year. Meaning your say bonsu. Yebeda ne ho aba yeba NA Oko Ministry of Roads and Highways. Minister Odano the Honorable Govins Agboja. Ni spokesperson ewo studio ha. Ono anso ye Regional Communications Officer ma NDC ewo Eastern Region. Kojo Dankwa ewa ha. Sanso ena Safo Charles Owusu abekansa ewa ha. Ena lawyer ni Kwesi Bochwe Jr. Enso ewa ha. Oshe committees are MPP put together. One committee na ye security committee required defense and interior and a security committee. Kwesi Bochwe na ye secretary to that committee. Wabekansa ewa ha. Yene won nyina eba ababidi enkomo. Me pacho moma yentie we sima be mienu. Yeba yeah the discussion segment no ehhehye mo so eno enu ya kwa ba ne mfa nkomo no nhehye so kwezi bo twa kwa ba te say
obi nyame adom na so
bibi ekoyi
nyame adaro man si oni amu na kakra but yes nyame say na ye Friday no fan chain because we say Ghana han se ni shum na ayem hihye tino nyame fan chain na afei so no ka Father's Day there amefa akonya so na me wish apapafo nyina happy Father's Day in advance
Sunday the first
ba on say Sunday nya kwan betena ha di kan ne MPP ye papa awoda yam no ye flag bearer the former vice president Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia the flag bearer of our party ye mano awodapa is MPP ni ono ye papa odayano
yes
na yensama the former president Kufuor and so eja onso ye friend ejapa onso ye mano happy Father's Day and the president Kufuor the immediate past president ye mano onso happy Father's Day ye ma ye council of elders nya papa owusu ankoma hakman owusu ajimai ye papa no ma kojompie ni no omunia ye momunia happy Father's Day na face the young fathers no the honorable Kojo Ponkoma me boss no so be man happy Father's Day yama Samia Wuku Abujina Po mitimi mbo bi edin but ye mo bia ye minority leader ye mo bia happy Father's Day papa bia o play role MPP mu o play role to mentor the youth of this party me am a boss me immediate boss director did this miracles Abwaje me man happy Father's Day on nice daughters
nice family very nice
Nancy and ne baba kunya 19 years ultra legal age untino on behalf of Nembano ye mano happy Father's Day
sure
Nancy ultra legal
miracle Abwaje the bed 19 years oba na abema
oyoba oyoba pa
ne man all nice so very nice children a man a meme
to be a mobiane the spiritual fathers of the land
sure
ye papa Archbishop Nicholas Danka Williams Dr. Mensa Otabel me papa Pastor Eastwood Anaba the Reverend Owusu Bempa
sure
ene asofo Prophet El Bernard Nelson Ishen Prophet Telvin asofo mpanimfo mo Ghana henia ye momunia happy Father's Day I wish President Mahama so
happy Father's
Day ono ye the president of the land
sure
speaker ye wish obia happy Father's Day nti obi
I think say also mo ye ne say I was say upon a motor ticket nebi na father be our person the man no bad dinner nebi now
me to be more fathers me no mo da makoma so pa me pese me to be more mo
in the upon no
patron saying
100 cities
position 100 cities there menya because no my news mo the 100 cities ni ye me 2 days me dia nisika 2 days
toma papa ba ko wa shede
sacrifices we brebe o my
2 days 100 cities now
2 days see
maybe I'm sure no did maybe I'm sure no did no
o me no say kube ba ko 12 cities there
7 cities
12 cities
I'm say kube no ko South Africa no ko
Oko UGMC ona ofa chiriwa na meme ya visa free anka no makoto kube wa South Africa meme ya visa free anka
so ko South Africa na
ko meme ya visa free anka
okay that's fine
inti obi
edi na no munyina mun to ticket ne bi na mo de ache so for so tobi ma so for panyi Owusu Bempa na otimi badi na ni bi na chese bibi aye kam
na obi also happy Father's Day to you
me dase
obi o dan kwa ma munyini o
omo 9 years ne 6 years
obi ejo so
bibi aye boko
nyankopon aye na afa mu de mojari de afusane techere ma eda bodwe ma obi na ye hono ye ohunu mi wa ohunu se
political suit ne so efe
medase
matese wa pam bebre
wa pam daima kojo dankwa
obi na
political suit no wa pam oni Peter Mesa
obi unu se santa
obi na ni America jesu political suit no ma pam daima
in opposition obi na me wo na native
obi o musika ni apam tadio
me de uni me sabe yesi
enye usikani na fe any premani what you say me premani what you say me ni bi kura no a
position
na me so bi am share those days ja
political studio start share
I
give it to him there's a way material na near fair
obi
let's display of wealth or say shrine ni yokokrati
because that but say o minister ho ye
Nyankopon Adaroma minister governs Kwame Abuja na ho ye pa obi
ye da nyame ase meba ma waboa yen word na nsan report by on 4th estate for story no na wabone o me wo mu ne tofa e dia man na afia to aso so meba to pagea o microphone na yente wo kan me gye se bibia ye boko
obi the otisro obi antene so one ne onyame na domti enkwan ewo ho
yes
ipa nkwan so ne japade nti me japade intact na je se chosem se o nkwan
na wade nyina
na ka sa ade nyina wo ho na se oni nkwan oni hwe nti ya seza ne be ma urade unse nsuo to a
na ayem hyehyia
na maka nsuo ja makam my mobo is here crowd them simbe by appeal to public no we are boy so benya kudu bi kanu bi rubber one bi amaya sabi moto bi boto a ene se to a na start fi mi na jama fam na besia bekom na ganyen nsa dia
are serious
obi serious pa in fact Wednesday no so to anopa minim se to krom baby abintu nche ba ya ho to pa obi mi fi krom a mi fi se me besia bekom around 7 minya kwa dru na boy 11
anopa
na boy 11 in fact me dodge ya san dodge me ho kan ho afena me na me hwe ba bia me wo mayira ma dodge ya ma me ama san dodge me unti na
traffic ninti
me na ka chiro because nsu no atwa so de oni me fie
minim ho pa
nse ba bia o mo duadua amrodo wa bi wo no ho no na ho flooding na fortunately minya obi ono nim mu nti o dem ko fa ba bi ma minya kwan pie na ye pie bedu main road no na main road is serious change baby na me fie den
wow
enti me drew west hills mo na me farm inside right na me amasha me kwa fa chire ho na maba be si main road no me ba kwa na de omo mu dwane efi main road na e ba so no kwa na do so chen aye fi ese den eko and then obi san chire baby na chisa wo do ka na me nsu mu enti no so wura nsu za mpa ya wo bo ne se unkoto amene na nsu mfa wedding enko we are no seeing change so a minim se EPF Ghana omo ha
se ona professor Kluche
Ghana
boss no yeah
and yes I wo environment minister on so Ghana
se no acting na was here
na mpacho obi ni ho
amaboa
so actikra
yeah
obi mpacho wadaroma e de mbone na wojafo aye so hu bola na isi kwan ho mehu and run me the trafficking because of our issue me the trafficking from ultra old barrier
yes
we be chuma Malam Junction me the trafficking more than 2 hours
tricycles na taxi
penny kohwe e bro be 500 na the hard we say ensuo mu na e beto yi obi ni nyina ensuo beto gu ma ensuo na
ase adwiri ni nyina
adwiri ku fam kra keke on say efi na ewo mu no nyina e ba be fa kwan no ti wodo kan na mu a odi ko fie ana wo dimi dodge
na tricycles almost dey into my parking back yes
mi ntimi hu na nkofo ton bo fruit amanfo ton we wo na cholera yare we cause see say me say cholera outbreak about Greater Accra ha WW and bi bikitu abi
na baby abola ni go say panyi bi twama ana ube hu
say see am kan obi a wo tie mi bia enkofa kwan so see esi so
convoy
no pa nwumre
convoy
come say de bechi esi wo me say bro 500 na de ha me kese ni say
no mo fa nko dumping site and e
opposite Akaway Hospital
yes
there's a hospital maybe a children hospital no some say see obi de ho ka hey politicians organa more bought to say you know say hospital yes here no so no yes you come to kwa between people and this and say be obi hospital no opposite no so convoy no ho say me no kwesi kan ultra empire cement
yes
who say you outer lane or now outer lane ba besi Akaway hospital no anim
and omaji ho nyina
oh obi Messi say see akwa pa wi a na pa mo so mo cameras no ko sisi convoy na esi ho no just say why am makra na ebinim so eba no mo ba
but what is it like omudu anoma park here
almost say omo dumping site na flooded
into
for the past 3 weeks no mo ntimi dump ball no and obi omo ye convoy ne from
maybe
Reverend Eche Makati Junction no sa through to New China Mall no mo be o Weja Junction into Bola cars close to 300 Bola cars
me say na woni anajo no anajo pa no omo kwa ebidru the other side no mutumi hwie gu no ma omo kwa
ni
so obi mutumi hwie gu ho two back
our lane for two cars no ma fa
any that is the cars I should use the
now obi the other side na ye honye yi no omo ba ni na omo de be free this side na bentro omo tumi hwie ball ani bi go no ko na anajo dru a ukwa na okoto ball no at once na we have been so famwe den eko
okita saloon card ya hwe awaso
what is happening e dey na esi and then so to go every day
na obi ntontom
se na ni peteria ho no de me suma won yare me se ahun o man ye hun se bi o ya mfa nipa huntia na nka ebetimi di nipa wuo aba because obi ball ani sisi wo saa enwansena no na ensuo togum na ensuo ne wo mu etene ko efafam na nkofo nantim etietie mu ko mu fie omo de ka efam eko mu fie nyina na omo de yare na eden eko
preparatory schools nso nko ana wo
enkola eko school na etwam
schools
obi na wodo
obi this is the N1 highway N1 highway
fine eko
it is saying the sisi o say
the video we cried there 3 weeks ago video
we no omusa
we do omusa we 3 weeks ago
me say omburu buy 500 me na me ka cho every day we are
obi is very true some me want 500 to Weja Junction it's very
omburu buy 500
it is not just say obi antimi nya ho
no way obi omo sisi na boys no twitwom joto no
me ba ayi public works na Zoom Lion for ye under why you know abanye twemo
well you need
sanamate because in fact for a very long time who say Zoom Lion for proper once our match usually no
and has there been like
especially baby Zoom Lion for pay atemota run about
and see but has there been like a company replacing them?
No, I'm not sure. Yeah, you heard it. Maybe who say area how you know who say omo the ball ekwa na ye aboboya and efa
and why are we surprised say flood na ye excessive because if nobody is cleaning the city send the flood
of course
when you running na
obi baby omo tugu kwa flood ya adene ye fe baby momo for ball na den enko ni ya momo ko for ball na free enfie ahodom and omo de abegira kwan main road
where is this
obi na onim there
no into the point is we cancelled the existing contract without any arrangement, like no alternative.
That should tell you about the kind of leadership we have in this country. But Obi, you see, the danger about this thing is once the out lane, a bit more motive benches down honum, it be up a cell branch, a free main road. Because they have blocked the road. Blocking road. Obi na me say anopa. Say who the traffic more. Say nyamia down me fa Uber now glass ne kosra. But what the trotro ma Obi fe. Not traffic in swat.
For that way no.
Obi fe. And
you
from Obi. It is from Malam Junction. Through to Makati Hill. And as they say, no more started Diko Malam Junction him. Say, oh my maw kwan no. Almost started Diko Malam Junction. Nay, terrible.
I think that the indiscipline.
This is not cool.
The indiscipline in this.
No, it's about leadership. If you have a sanitation minister, he should take care of this thing. It's about leadership. This is not indiscipline. It's about leadership.
The discipline in this country, Obi, is getting worse and out of hand by the day. And look, and for me, Obi, we went to last week, me catch it. I was saying, Sadia, we know, I didn't want to say the politics. Last week, I said this because you better na hey, Obi, leadership problem. I say, Obra na mo so no these things na si ebia na ensi in this but na si
this magnitude
what you say ebia na this magnitude na entesa but na si enu nti na wo se ye betena ha na ye di sa nkomo na obi e wo se ye ka no kwan a ye befa so asoman na ye behwe na sa indiscipline no we deal with it obi ba na make out say because yan ka ne sa na de bia ye de koya manyosem ne sa de no a obi wan hwe a asam no puma sibire no enya dia oh no aso for chance enya okra me yi na make na asem what you say kwesi botwe
media me concern is obi yare any party political party colors yare any baby a obi free in fact wo hwe me hwe Al Jazeera na mu hwe cholera outbreak e Nigeria northern Nigeria enipa bebre na ewu say yare ba ya the hospital anamboa
yes
na opposite hospital and yakofa yare na eden ababisi intina nipa na hospital na ye kosom yare
okopa yare
na ye kopa yare ene dia mom na wo de no so to nchen a efie won nchen ho nyinara se kwesi kan no in fact oti ho ba bia e bia gese me ye soje bia wo ja o ka na wo fafam mum na be fa kwan ho abedu malam janche na fa kai den akọ se ba so betimi do ka akọ no de no
because me I think sir we can comfortably trace the recent upsurge in floods to your waste management team.
Oh yes.
Because it's unconscionable, sir. A decision was made. Say company and a public waste collection on our major roads and managing a lot of the landfill sites, contract with the state through YEA is cancelled. We have not been told what the alternative is.
There's no alternative.
What we were told is that our assemblies now engage on more waste management contractors. The assemblies should tell us what they've done in that regard. Because if company are not Nejuma, we say Ensweni. If there is no alternative, that alternative should be able to do the work better,
of course,
than company and
of course.
If a Zoom line no more year Germany, na ya cancel, na the year hunia. It cannot be justified. It cannot be justified.
Abra, me to make sure na Juma be 100% and say. But you see, no,
you don't see this.
You don't see it.
You don't see this.
It is a nipa ni ho na say problem no ba na ye hu kwan be fa so e be so anu a na ya nipa na ye area ho no na ye ja to say yen so bo na ye
it's unbelievable.
Yen so problem by ourselves and say yen dey enti anopa awia anwumre anajo obi sometimes we coffee around by 11-12 na cars na start here the motor bike na start here then park
and this is the capital city of Ghana for crying out loud.
Did you know the interesting thing? Sabobo ya for we no say usually no mo de ball and free Malam market honi ade no mo ko park here. I just mo ko akoye U10 e wo Pambros Junction. Ko won say because highway no into U10 be any from Makati Junction U10 be any till Pambros Junction. Now omunam highway no so no mo kwa no ma fa kwan ni highway 4 lanes or 3 lanes no ma fa ni anti cars I can say no be e di chire boko because mo saso be no mo ba no
U10 no be
si kwan obi
use na omo timi U10 no mo nyina guram na car no obi agina
obi as a president ba
guram be ni ba
abobo ya agbola convoy
no mo nyina ko no mo be gina mo nyina be twom ansam because the one who see ba no udi agro be chuka anti Mr. say
if we should handle some of this
and you say assemblies no omo nya hwe o
that be
yen gas out ko ena weja hon so
yes
me who omo ye
no but the truth of the matter is Safo, if you leave assemblies they say they should engage omo contractors and the contractors don't know what they do.
I don't know
contractors man
who
are those contractors to do the work because a fina ye can ho asem no enye a fina ye de abobo
no
we should be a bit more serious with and before you disengage obi owo dada no make sure there is an alternative that will do the work better. You don't let the things
wait Dominic Denny by making unse usane o buy hona o buy be amode no ameka no MTN for no and say me bana abobo ya ba ko it's a party yes be me san ka ho abe mini abeto omo so oh like I said me free police for be found because they are womu da hwa che say omo na mabubu onam ye ugade on my Ghana because ya kwan won tin fa abobo ya na mfa so olodu san obe mini to omo so accident I see abobo ya onya accident I know Obi. I know. And yes, environment for what media say assembly and say you want to be my environment minister so hoswa. O jama yare me kuya EPF almost say the being.
Now they have to clear tomorrow morning. This cannot they have to clear tomorrow morning. It's an ISO. Kojo, my member of Fire Co-Ministry of Roads and Highways, and now knowing Felix Kwacho for Government Communications Minister here press conference. Omampenya Juma on the share ne advisor on governance and say Fourth Estate for story on we an on shame non found report number specifically on roads a fast sourced contract on a senior mano committee ne ka den
Obi mamena was na me
ubet my in 10 minutes amame on
Obi yeah the 15 I we in 20
15 minutes. And a Minister of Roads for na mo beto time now.
Massa.
Na there be name of
yeah again na okay.
Topics are producer the man no.
Oh massa.
Obi objection on point of law.
Objection overruled.
Obi you judge the uncle trimmed him. Now the objection no cross overruled.
Obi you 15 mami.
This is a betrayal of discretion. Obi you are misusing your discretion.
Yes. Sir and chair cry under the Fourth Estate for a year publication be. But even before Ansana on by publication and now snipers of bibi bekoso. Now be in Fourth Estate. Emra in wa bemu. Say yete say wamu di bibi abeto abonten say wamu de a year report bi be ba. Na ebinumo yamo bomb krodo. By obi ukai. Enunti emra omode beto abonten no ebinumo eka se ne eba no ehunu na eye keta se hyebi proye bi kankan bi akoso e wo ye roots ministry enunti Fourth Estate ebe expose eye the ministry obi ye na ebetena ha di san komoni bi ye ka ho asam ani na ye hwe animu se ye nuano Fourth Estate for report on makwaya na say investigation on makwaya no mo ba betudwa na ye hunu ni investigation no ye den eka na obi emra na ye didi hu nkomo na ana mampanyi John Dramani Mahama ye na enim say ono abaketa asese ne proya won soso na oje eye kabi mamin kabi atum yie pa enu nti oka say ebe ya anke ye nuan no mo mfa wo mo nsam no mo ka no emfa nton krata so na officially wọ́n fanya den enfa mmere o mampanyini eye John Dramani Mahama na so ye na wọ́n ma ho kwan na ehwehwem enkoso ne ehwehwem ne ehunu se anyenye bia wọ́n som no mo ka no nukura bi wom anase nukura nya den enim etobi on the 1st of April Ana Media Foundation for West Africa ede eye sansem no egu nkrata so ede koma Ghana mampanyini ede kona so ye se mampanyini ye de abrew o mampanyini je nkrata na obi wana so Adia chi pepe ano frɛ eye senior advisor on governmental affairs ye maame ye friend say Valerie Soya say ensamo a Media Foundation for West Africa ekruchi a wode abanie etinke beya nko ye emu hwehwemu ne ehunu sɛ anyenye bia ensamo no abawom eye no korɛ anasa nye no korɛ na ye maame eje nkrata no ano wono nso forwarding nkrata no de ma Ministry of Roads say eye Media Foundation for West Africa no de abanie manu yi a ewo mu no ene sen na obi so unim emra ekyere se sabe untimi mu obi eye kumfo a sabe untie nipa no nanu disam ana meboa eye basic principle in law ana meboa enunti ye de ma Ministry of Roads and Highway on the 2nd of April Ministry of Road and Highway so then a response put two together in a response at the buy on the your friend is saying 21st of April and also then a response come on ye mame Valerie Soya ene mpamfo it's enough you know afanuni nano ede o manu disema ye den aba e wose ye gu ensanie so ne ye kari ne ye hwehwem ne hunu se hwan na e ka no kore na hwan na ne o ka ne se be eni na obi on the 22nd May ya ana ya maame Valerie Soya within the final 72-page report at the bro on mampanyini say omanpanyin hwehwemu a o share me say me nkonkoye no maye e de awie na obi details of the report no
that's Valerie Soya na ye nhwehwemu no
yes
and we should report
committee
so omanpanyin na nye committee o de ma eye ma me Valerie Soya eti nhwehwemu no a yekoye no ye ma me Valerie Soya koye no eye ni o de bae no eno na me ne watiefo ye ba bechi emre o ye nhwehwemu ni wie no abeda adwa se obi efiri bra owura John Dramani Mahama ne NDC bae 2020 5 January ebesi enna me no kasega na say ebra wo mo tro final 72 page report no na contractor aban way through the Ministry of Roads and Highway ye dia man na contract ni na 1441 obi tenio 1441 apem ahanan aduanan ba ko contract na ye dia man na say unim say Oba Ministry of Roads and Highway ye wo agency say wo Ministry of Roads and Highway e wo mase ye wo Ghana Highway Authority ye wo Urban Roads ye wo Feeder Roads na obi ntichemu ni nie 1441 contract no ntichemu no enie agencies agencies na wo ma contract no Ghana Highway Authority ema 405 contract Feeder Roads ema 896 out of 1441 consolidated contract 63 big push contract 54 and a legacy project near babeto na buy no dia mad da no eno 23 that but obi take note of the legacy project obi out of the total of 1441 contractor abai buy ye dia ma no emu 1301 apem ahasa ene baako edie it went through competitive tendering and also open tendering obi what did I make an say
yes
1301 out of 1441 went through competitive tendering. Now competitive tendering as a Chinese say Ministry of Roads and Highway publication this contract ni gu nkrata mu ka say obi bia wo ye Ghana ni a wo gidie so obetimi aye sa adwuma no fa nkrata den ebra na ye nhwe se wo se efata so obetimi aye adwuma na de adwuma na den e de ama eti wo hwe even graphic mu a obi this is a copy of graphic obi publications no na ewom Daily Graphic Monday July 7th 2005 any this represent the 1301 now represent 90.28% of the entire road projects yediama contract under this current administration. Who follow there?
Yes, we follow.
90.28% was given under competitive tendering. Ya maho kwan say Ghana ni bia kwesi botwe minia o say
akwani bi ne de here
o de ye wi ebeba mame biguso eba nti ye wi ebeba ho obi mbacho te make na say ya de ma eno through competitive what tendering obi 1301 uti free 1441 ebeka 140
okay
meboa
yes
ana meboa okay so 140 no 66 of them per and the ma single source representing 4.58%. eti nakasa eni nchiwanshi a ye die ni na Media Foundation for West Africa and Forte State cover by no it was just about 4.58% of the route yet the ama single source obu ye no so to nchen 51 of 140 no were given under restrictive tendering. It was no single source. And at 23 legacy project no and no the abandada no and the mine the man under single source. Eti obi de kesia ni ye ni de da ni ye na say 66 out of 1441 road contracts were given as single source. Na obi say offer 1441 na say 66 4.58%. Brofu no beka say it is negligible.
But would that be fair to Fourth Estate? Because Fourth Estate focus no
we your friend is saying the report in here analyze you.
I get you. Fourth Estate focus no was on the juicy contracts, no, which are all contracts under big push. In the under big push, no, say majority of those contracts, no.
So even that one, it's not true.
Okay.
Okay, say majority of those contracts, no,
under big push.
Under big push, no. Say big push, no. It was 47.14%. So that's not majority
of the contract.
Obviously,
under big push.
Obviously, that cannot be a majority.
But that's almost half of the.
It's not majority. But it is not majority.
That's fair.
But you can also not single out. Some projects in Kase way near Diama single source near Canadian Yanasa. Meanwhile, Yama contract 1,441. So who can say who single out a big push in then you are also not being fair to the Ministry of Roads and Highway. Sebaina was say you do over 50% of the 1,441 and yet they are single source and ye di home command no be na ye di home command. So it cannot. It would also not be fair to say and a single out a big push. And no, so also single out the big pusher. The percentage of that was given under a single source was just 47%. That is not more than half. Just as a non per se yet Obi we are not tonchanya. Adia bakwa. A committee ne ka ho asem hwehwe mu edom wasu kɔ ne sɛ anyenye bia ina inem sɛ ɔmanga na mu hai sɛ bibi bia ye bia no ye de mmra ene ye adwuma eti saa contract ye ɔmo de ma ye wɔmo fa Ghana mmra so ana so ɔmo tietia Ghana mmra so ana ɔmo afa Ghana mmra nya adwuma ana ɛyɛ committee no ɛyɛ saa hwehwe mu no ehunu sɛ ɛyɛ Ministry of Roads and Highway ɛfa Ghana mmra so ɛntietia Ghana mmra so ana wɔde contract ye ɛde mai na obi Osha report na say the implementing agencies Ghana Highway Authority and the kind also Ghana Highway Authority SCK for PPA board approval for 72 projects. It is 72 projects no Ghana Highway Authority at the mark contract no they seek the approval of the board of PPA ya famra council and ya de eti boni bia anya den enim ebio Osha Department of Urban Roads or say PPA approval was a friend saying or seeking PPA approval for 16 projects and also say Bonibia anya den enim yan tietia Ghana mraso and ye desa contract ne ye den e de mahe enunti so bi beka se ye tietia Ghana mraso there is an abuse of the procurement processes na no kura bia anya den enim obi ebio Department of Federal Roads according to the report or say SCK PPA approval for 29 projects obi went tietia mra bia so efa mra ekwamu pepepe na sa contract no ye de mai it is obi ba beka se procurement processes no ye tietia so it has been abused obi na no so no kure bia anya den eni sa asem obi ne to so miensa committee ne ka ho asem was and then the abede adwamu say ora John Dramani Mahama na aban any Ministry of Finance sabre almost say obi a be ma contract bia no a say be ebro a certain threshold bia no e was say oba for commitment authorization obi say oya we unim sa ade no ana meboa
yes
and aban we is a measure or dey hwe say obeboa na aban no appointees enkoma contract bia say be e de eka ene oha ba beto oman Ghana eso obi enunti committee and say ya Mami Harris Valerie Soya ehwehwe mu hunu se anyenye bia Ministry of Finance Emma wrote ministry no commitment authorization for this contract and obi no kure wo mu ne say finance ministry headed by Yenua Penyini Honorable Atoforsen Emma your friend is saying commitment authorization for those contracts to be awarded. It's an also no obi boni bia anya den eni saa eho enu na obi baby say na dia kura nti ana na hu hia say saa 66 road contractor Yedema single source, which represents a year 4.58%. Edientikrana and no, ye pepere ye hon a case, yedebema as a year single a year source. Obi, yen na yeti kruma. Obakaya amra ye bo entwa. Ura John Dramani Mahama ekasaba ya kwan ene sania apro atete apansam. Emma otire mu ka se sakonya eba or the bibia your friend big push ebeba, and that is an accelerated way of making sure say we construct our route and obi meboa yen na yen so mamu ha your friend say bureaucratic processes ne kwan ye fa so ma contract ne ade ene sa ne ma no emma delays bebreye den eba enunti say also person ya accelerated development o person ya kwan na ye ntentem na how dia manhunu a Ghana for na man na ye betra hai enye bia na ye ka ho asem say akwan no because of enema asɛ wakwan no so ne ade ni nti no na ama niema we a friend say flood ne ade ebe eti sɛ o person wo ya akwan na wo ye ntentem a na e wo sɛ wo de kɔ through the single source your friend is saying what you make say, and that is one of the reasons why there was a need for us to use a single sourcing procurement process. Obi ebio adia baako a
na 15 minutes
adia baako a na no so ahia say enunti ye use the single source procurement processes no issues of national security and public safety concerns. Obi sadia ya muyi wo TV yes our report ni sadia ya muyi wo TV issue obi national security issue anambwa is a national security issue. It is yam pentem and shall solve a problem of our roads na obi and ya that eba be foforo yen a ye timamufo no eba be foforo yen, and it will be a safety concern. And that is why it became necessary for us to give just 4.58% of the road contractor since the time you buy through a single source procurement. Obi adia baako enso ne say to hedge against market inflation and ho enkeka. Obi okọ obekaya Ura John Dramani Mahama Emra 2016 before I be kon ye share cocoa route ase edi enti ne se ye cocoa route because kwiani ne kodo na wote ne cocoa de begu your friends aboye na oburu na wo se ofa no de kofia ne kwan na sei otwa ne board ya ne kwan na sei otu ne bank ne kwan na sei eti ontimi mfa ma eti se nua bai ni na eka enfuom ho ana obi anya sa nete enunti na ho ahia se wo se yetimi ehwe ne ya kwan no yie animanim ya se ne beboa na anko base ye nua ne sa niema no a ye produce no obi ebesei na eno so ede your friends and prices of food ne ehon keka ho no ayeden akosoro. And these are some of the factors that necessitated for the friends and the contract to be given on single source basis. Eti obi o ka sansem we nyina fua na ekere se nya committee kan se yewura Kwame Aboja Ministry of Roads and Highway sabe woma anya boni bia in awarding the contract wom hu son sedien abrobe enunti se obi ko gina ba bi na okase yewura Kwame Aboja na se roads ministry sabe boni bi woma anya ne yetene woma anya ne yese ana ma fa kwati kwan so de contract ama na nokore bia ayeden enim obi me sha ase ne yewura Kwame Aboja adwuma enche. Now, so I can tell you on authority that Honorable Kwame Aboja, he's not shady. Okay. He's somebody who is hardworking. He's somebody who is focused. Obi, unim say me deputy CEO. Ebu abi abe 738. Namu adwuma. And so as the spokesperson for the Minister for Roads and Highway, Obi, mache because my boss no num and a fa na wadwuma the dada. And you see send your pay all year dwuma and a kwan a wafa so a Ghana ho dot na koma so obehwe so obeyama Ghana kwan sebe enye te say the old time story ade bia ye kan no na obeye adwuma no eno na me ye sure say ebia ebinum so hu no say okay na ye try na nemum bitimi di say na dwuma no oye no eso Ghana fo ani na obeto akoso aye ahwe ama ya kwan no sebe ayeye ama ye nyina obi ye ho ahane yen na ye metena ha osofo cha so wusu enemy nua metena ha na ye complain se na ye sha ase a na ye complain obi there are other things that were captured.
Sure, but I think you summarized it.
Ye behwe na ya
Ojo dan kwan ye ten in Kano lawyer Kwesi Botwe Junior me pacho brem
obi me da se Kojo akasa bebre, but you see,
thank you.
Explanations not the abaninia and media me who say ababia wo
they work
no it's a committee report.
It is a lot of nothing.
Okay.
The first point I want to make and say I'm call the substantive issue so ne say committee no say committee ni judi say why ne edwuma year.
It was not a committee.
And I say a committee. I think
the earlier narrative was the president was setting up committee, but later a call governance advisor.
But no, so initially when I was saying no, we clarified it even before I started my submission.
Okay, so there was no committee.
Please.
So it was
a
sole investigation done by Madame Valerie Sawyer.
Yes, who is the advisor?
So an advisor was tasked to investigate a minister. Is that not the case? 2 executive members. That's fine. Now, the point I'm making is in report inka ne papa mu a say 4th estate for your mo findings no mo de buy no mo de beto abonten. Minjin di say oni Suleiman Brahma interview no ahana obe disclose information or publish it net that the website of the Kojo Danko kasa
the report itself.
Kojo Danko
Felix Kwachofu su ye press conference no.
Yes.
Oka ekire mu say by close of the next day the report would have been published.
Have you seen it?
Yes, it has been published.
Obi. Kojo Danko spoke for 17 minutes. I gave him all the courtesy and respect. With due respect.
No,
I don't want him to interject me. No. You spoke. No. Kojo, let's respect ourselves. I beg you. Please. You spoke. I disagreed with you.
I have to clarify.
Debbie, okay, same piano me no nya adwen. But me try. Pacho, me say mo no na me come asem. Inti report na odiaba no. As a matter of fact, the report has not been published. Metiha and I have checked on Ghana Web. The report is not there.
Ghana Web.
I have checked on the Ministry of Roads and Highways official website.
Now
it is not there.
Report
I have checked on the presidency website. It is not there. I have checked Felix Ofosu-Kwachi's page. It is not there. I have checked Kojo Danko's Facebook page and social media platforms. It is not there. I have checked the minister's page. It is not there. Obi, as you sit here, Obi made the one dance say when we report now. You haven't seen the report. You haven't seen the report. And so if I say the report has not been published, I have every right to say so. Now, the point I am making is for us to have a decent conversation about this report. Now, Sanka Banaya publish it. Abo BH Makai report nibi. Ehu their report no. Etre. Send the beya yonsu ebetima be raise questions. But because we don't have the benefit of the full report, there could get bekano. And no na ye be responded to. Now, Suleiman Brahma new media for West Africa investigations on they acknowledge the fact that Ghana has rules. Few days ago, me to Kwanko Cape Coast, very terrible road, Obi, very terrible. I agree, I was here, Quine. But the fact that I was here, Quine in Tresse, I was say Ghana, Fosika, or Metia as Tuono, or Manfonisika, near the Ensa Bomu Basa. Quanya, and your quite personal, near the awardee road contract. And Yama Muti opposition, Mukaseti Ayeno, Namu ye the same thing, the awardee road contract. That was the foundation of Media for West Africa, Foundation for West Africa for ye. The first major concern on Murezi was about procurement concerns, about how the contracts were awarded, about the legal criteria. They even raised concerns. A company still be called my incorporated 2 weeks. You incorporated 2 weeks no munya contract. Could you then address those issues? Those are fundamental issues. Suleiman Brahma and the team, erase.
But again, he said, the PPA all clear for all the contracts.
And I'm saying,
the board
and I'm saying,
And the board would have considered all the issues.
And I'm saying, say, Suleiman Abraham he said there is a company, the workers, A4
It's not true.
And now your company being so you incorporate and you register company, no. 7 days, 8 days, per no, the contract worth millions of Ghana cedis. And now Suleiman Abraham in the opinion, no, and you're proper. Because ye per company obey your kwanya ye company or what track record.
Yes.
Ye company sebi se china ye kase ye de Asempa FM to Adom FM kwan ma o onye inti eduko jina kote wo se who registered office who directors of a company or no manage the day-to-day affairs of the company. And it is very important said ye friend no the corporate governance structure no the company must have it. And the point we are raising is companies ni bo hono contract worth 100 million Ghana cedis, 200 million Ghana cedis, 10 million Ghana cedis no. Some companies ne binim wo hono ma omu ni a proper corporate governance structure, and therefore they do not merit a contract worth that amount of money. Your report doesn't respond to those claims. Obi number two. Number two. Obi number two. You have your time. Obi number two. The major concern raised by Suleiman Abraham and the people at Media for West Foundation for West Africa. They say value for money. Almost say contract pricing. No. Na problematic. Almost say nka ye betima ye cost variations amana ye because under omodie analysis. In fact, they no ba han mitie ni ye pa. O say kwan bi wo no about 10 kilometers and 5 kilometers. Under MPP abreso ye no for bia 50 million Ghana cedis. Under NDC abreso the same 5 kilometers and it's been down for 200 million Ghana cedis. That is the concern na Media Foundation for West Africa for erezi. Your so-called report, access to, does not answer the questions of value for money. Obi, that is the conversation that we need to have. According to Media Foundation for West Africa, no, almost say similar projects. Obi, similar project to project, similar project, and it's been one made the same projects. Yeah, for X amount of money. More inflated cost, no, and that is one of their worries. And you know, in the process of inflating the cost, no, and then they raise corruption concerns. Say, they be you sure you turn 1 CD, and I'm buy a big push as in Tino, move turn for 100 CDs, and no one's any eka. Your report does not address it. Obi, the fourth point, in my opinion, Suleiman Abraham and then for raise is about transparency. Almost see the more they award the big push contract, you know. Big push contract no because share them our 10 homes and I know sign the big push contract no 10 homes sign the big push contract we now share them no sign the big push contract until they were raising concerns about transparency the processes say ade no kura no biem contractors number bede mo hand pick contractors under the guys say these were emergency projects. Obi now projects now must say emergency projects and then site our contractors the woman site. Contractors in woman site. If the justification say ye penning term and that the bureaucratic nature of open source competitive tendering ebemanate into ye per se expedite your roads infrastructure development into ye be handpick contractors there more that analysis is an analysis of monstrous absurdity. Who do you get to many? Because those very roads and those very the contractors have abandoned the job. And Nintama ye peno, and on the way. Obi, question a Media Foundation for raising and say, even the project timelines of the big push, on my man 2 kilometers of road. So on kwaye, a musika 100 million Ghana cedis. Aside say inflated cost, na timelines in home. No proper timelines. Obi, no proper timelines. Another one, your contract sums. How are Mutimi arriving at certain contract sums? The Media Foundation for West Africa. So, muhum valuation amoye. Muhum dentia contract sums nibi wo honoma. I inflate ya triple ya quadruple. They wanted to know. Ebium, they raise issues of conflict of interest. say contract na modi amano what chairman original chairman for what check contract na mamo western regional chairman ni wom wonya contract the mu be 4 say 5 big edu construction mo regional chairman for nia 16 regional chairman
no western north
16 surface na ebomu ni nia no enti mo regional chairman or more 16 regions ni nia no the concern is that you have distributed the contract for them enti obi the question of conflict of interest is where then arise. Now, the position of Media Foundation was that yenye independent investigation. You see, Kojo Danko has come to tell us investigation. A member of cabinet, Obi Otu president for Madame Villaresoya, who I have a lot of respect for. Obi Otu Mampenini for the cabinet. And a Mampenino a taxing say ononya report enkofa minister Mampenino so a pound. Obi, do you really think that there will be the exercise of fair judgment here? I was anchor select committee on roads and highways or parliament and yes investigation way so that they'll have the time to do a proper audit of the big push contracts. And now I say you have no shame, you have no without any iota of shame. Kojo Dankwa. Eka se mo award 47.8 contract under sole sourcing. Mo hand pick your mo.
47%.
47%.
Big push contract.
Out of the big push contract. Sole sourcing.
Yes.
Obi nko for omuti opposition then omuka fa sole sourcing. Omusi sole sourcing. Omusi sole sourcing. Omusi so
what he stated is fact.
Report now okay you know. So
why you ignoring
pacho. You decided to pick what you wanted to speak on. Don't show me what I should speak on. I beg you, please. Muti opposition, musi so nyade papa. Obi 47%. Now him trick a womb. Ofa contract ni nya sa 47 no. Sika na ye involved no. Eye 4 times 53% na aka no. 47% ona sika kese ni nya hye. Ona 5 kilometers ubo ni amani pakro no 500 million Ghana cedis on fa nkoye kwan no. Ekwaye ye betimi di 2 million Ghana cedis aye ni amokwa brane 500 million Ghana cedis on koye. Muti opposition example na mema muti opposition no musi so sourcing a remedy for corruption and a recipe for corruption. Sana muka chere say ade obeye bia so sourcing bia no e de krono na eba e de say ubewia omani sika na nam enti no dia mo ba bibia mo beye bia no mo be na ko procurement process ni ma make sure say ye bie opportunity for Ghana for more the capacity ni nia aba be for it at the end of the day near award the contract no based on merit but na mo buy no the very thing you people preached against a Ghana for nya mo mugidi o muto aba ma mo e ma mo no and na mo buy no why west mo san ye west we no mo ni any bo bia se mo de a chopper crab ma Ghana for what bahana will justify 47% now 47% no and drew half mobile musumu be 0. You are doing opposite of what you preached. And to Obi, Medema Nusi no. The point I want to make is that the entire big push agenda is a recipe to create, loot, and share. Obi, big push no mu yeni niya no. It is a big push towards emptying the public purse. It is a big agenda to make sure that the public purse is crushed. It is a big agenda to ensure that the public purse is emptied. The real motive is not the real motive is 10% no more cut. That is the real motive behind the contracts. And the contract is in your abandoned site. It's a big push in any way. Big push in any way.
Safo, me
Kasema big push.
Obi.
Yes, Safo.
Dabia ya wasamfu friety. Na mana mbisa se ekusi se.
Yes. So mpacho page microphone ni kakra.
Obi. In fact, I quite want some idea who here pa. Nisan se ufi ye mentem ho. Utinto eba abisi kwa ho enka enwa. In less than 10 minutes, I say what to do, but we have 45 minutes as Adiaba. The Nina Muno, Yaka Quanina, about so he's cow between a dear. In fact, Obi, last week, me younger brother fish nyan besra mo ha otu akra 11 a.m. anopa okodu 12 p.m.
otu ha 11 a.m. anopa
yeah could do 12
and okodu 12 the following
the following morning 13 hours like I say yakwan your issues was super but then say wo kokuma se na okwa yi na wa so be fia sati dia anopa obekọ no mabu akonta akra wi ko be fia anopa be 7 wo kọ na hisabo be 9 abusia for kra kwakoda na wo de oba be den o that's the issue ayo nti yakwan de ya de da obi akoma so e ba da kwan so ye so a enye party de fa so but bibi ha me kakra minu yakojo e kan report ya yenye hu yi a o se e wo hu yi see a question and answer so obi accuse you wakan niam asere kosi bubo ye wakan niam ba ko mienu miensa enan tinka report no ba nka media foundation can say but contrary no e say the ehuni ona every one say how can we call it a committee abra dey ma one person say onye hwehwemu de one hwan ye hwehwemu no omo chiro komo amu na mososo mo chiro de mo na mo de baaye ti yenye ni sa antuma na sasa akwa netia my question is that the ekosi nei had it been the MPP in our power and NDC for opposition you beji sasa me atum am an informant me ti o ma say anye you the very thing you be criticize no omunya tumi no ma ye bibi worse than that the very thing on be kasa on so sourcing in Ghana here and it me here ntam bi na bisa kojo say o kana kwan e bi 800 kra as a highway so say urban roads so say na de ama na dodo sen kwan ben ya the feeder roads is it tie roads and a big push so kwan ben ya kwan yemo bo kwan ni di near the skabia shano sky the shano bia na the media foundation for kan no enya no cresa say no cresa so yem bisa value for money say is it say sa kwan we e di say sika na ye pese ye de kwan na if you say na to ba wi a mo fa chami o I say aban ba I say oban ni o majapade so ye ye pese ye bia no e say mo gitum na ye wi ade agasi wona ye ko. That is why your legacy projects be now I'm interested to about who did the A or B for the Sewia hospital near. The only question me person be say ntika e ba no start here na mu buye ya na kan so ba ko start for frank kan to kwa be den e be sia na so what is happening is that ye nuan ba aban mu o ka 23 legacy projects aban ni jato 23 I know they are over 1,300. I wish sure say 300 no krana buying starting yen timi wie. No 1,300 ni bit maybe ni abeka 23 no. You bit maybe there. Ye ka say minister kwadwa ba ministry there. In fact, adwa na den pa. Ofri wanchi e ko wa. Ye tutu